Judge, going to call the name first one. Right. Another one to the chair.
Good morning. You're going to have
the chair.
we did a scratch that just now, okay. So you're going to see, and then we'll try conference meeting, and you're going to see page 2 on
2625.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Commissioner Hughes. This is the 8 a.m. initial appearance calendar for Wednesday, January 29th. Is it the 29th? I thought it was the 28th. 29th, okay. The court's orders for the taking of DNA samples and fingerprints issued on the first calendar of January will apply to the hearings on this calendar. Do I have a Spanish interpreter on the line?
Yes, Your Honor.
no.
Good morning, Mr. Interpreter. I don't have anybody specifically marked as requesting a Spanish interpreter, so rather than keep you on the line, can I ask you to just make an inquiry of the gallery? And if nobody requires your assistance, then I will excuse you so you can go about your day.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Your Honor. ¿Se encuentra alguien en la sala que requiera asistencia de un intérprete de la lengua español? Si puede alzar la mano, si hay alguien que se encuentra aquí que necesita asistencia de un intérprete.
Can you guys look around? Is anybody's hand up? Can somebody say something out loud if you see a hand up?
No.
No hands. Okay. I'm hearing that there's no hands raised. Thank you for being here, Mr. Interpreter. You are free to disconnect.
My pleasure, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, as we get started in here this morning, I'm going to call each of you into the courtroom one at a time. So I will ask one of you to stand behind this gray podium here in front of me in the courtroom. I'll ask the next person I intend to call into the courtroom to have a seat in the blue or green chair right inside this door facing all of you. So that's how we'll cycle through this calendar. The first time I call your name, I'll ask you to move from the chair you're in right now to that chair inside the door. Second time I call your name, I'll ask you to move from that chair into the courtroom. Once you work your way into the courtroom, I will start by asking you to state your full name and date of birth. I will then tell you what the allegations against you are or explain to you why you're here this morning. Then I will tell you whether the court is appointing a court-appointed lawyer, sometimes called a public defender, to represent you. After that, I will give you the next court hearing dates and times that you'll be required to attend after this court hearing. And the last thing we'll talk about is whether you are legally eligible for release from custody. If you are, we will go over what the terms and conditions of your release will be. You all have the right to the assistance of counsel in your criminal case. If the court does not determine that you're entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, you have the right to hire a lawyer to represent you. You also have the right to remain silent in criminal proceedings. Now, these are recorded criminal proceedings, so that means anything that you do choose to say in the courtroom this morning can be used against you at any point down the line. For probably all of you, there will not be a lawyer in the courtroom this morning for purposes of your defense. That's true even if you're entitled to and appointed a public defender. They won't be in here right now this morning. So because there won't be a lawyer in here to defend you and because anything that you say could be used against you, I will strongly caution all of you not to make any statements regarding the facts about why you're here. If you have questions about your release conditions, you can ask those, but please don't go into the facts about why you were arrested or what the allegations against you are without a lawyer present. Last thing I'll tell you before we get started is that all of the information that I give you while you're in the courtroom will be contained in a written release order, and you will get handed a copy of that when you're done in here and you step back into that room. So you don't have to memorize all the information that I give you while you're in the courtroom, but please keep that paperwork that you get with you wherever you go from here this morning, and as long as you keep that paperwork, you'll still have all the information you got while you were in the courtroom. Okay, if you'll all give me one quick second, then we'll get started. From Garcia? No, who did the Rex? Got a scratch ad.
Yeah,
Phoenix. What do you mean Phoenix?
You said it would be the arrest on the scratch?
Say that again?
That's what county attorney submitted the recommendation.
Oh. That's about my favorite.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you all for your patience. I'm sorry about that. Can I please have Connie Barron all the way into the courtroom, please? Jennifer Adkerson, if you would please work your way to the chair. Yeah. Good morning. Can I please have your name and date of birth?
Connie Barron with 790.
Thank you very much. You are here on 3 different matters. The first 2 matters that you're here on are both warrants issued for failing to comply with court orders, one from the Agua Fria Justice Court and the other from the Hacienda Justice Court. The underlying allegations in both of those cases are driving on a suspended license. They're both misdemeanor allegations. In both of those cases, you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of release conditions. That lawyer will be appointed for you by the next judge you see in each of those cases. On the Hacienda warrant, your next court hearing will be an arraignment February 3rd at 8:30 in the Hacienda Justice Court, and that will also be the same date and time as your next hearing in the Agua Fria Justice Court. We'll come back to the fact that you have 2 hearings at the same date and time in 1 second. On both of those warrants, you have a $50 secured appearance bond. The third matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of dangerous drug possession and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession. Those are both felony allegations. I have found probable cause to support those, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings on the new felony charges will be a status conference February 4th and then a preliminary hearing February 6th. Both of those hearings at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown.
One of those, I'm already taking, I have an attorney for that one.
For what?
The drug one.
Well, you can't, this is new. These are new charges. So you don't have an attorney yet because they haven't been filed. This is a brand new allegation. But speaking of that existing drug case, because these new charges are felony allegations that were allegedly committed while you were on felony release in that existing drug case, the one you already have an attorney on, you're not eligible for release on bond on these new charges. So on the new felony allegations, you will be held in custody without bail at least until a hearing February 5th at 1:30. Now, because you will be held in custody at least until the 5th, what will happen is you're going to be transported to one of the 2 hearings on February 3rd because MCSO can't send you to 2 different places at the same time. So they'll send you to one of those hearings, which means you're going to pick up a warrant for failing to appear in the second court. So when you get to whatever hearing you first go to, talk to the lawyer assigned to you in that case and tell that lawyer that you're going to miss a hearing and see if that lawyer can work with you to make sure that no warrant is issued, or if it is, it's taken care of before you're picked up on that warrant. Do you understand that information?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Jennifer Adkerson to the podium in the courtroom, please. Ethan Molina, if you would please work your way to the chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Jennifer Adkerson, 8/16/64.
Thank you very much, Ms. Adkerson. You are here on 3 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is an arrest warrant issued after a direct complaint was filed alleging new allegations against you. The allegations in that direct complaint are 2 counts of taking the identity of another. They are both Class 4 felonies alleged to have been committed July 14th of 2022. On that case, I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings on those ID theft allegations will be a status conference February 4th, and then a preliminary hearing February 6th, both of those at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that direct complaint warrant, you have a $50 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you fail to appear at an initial pretrial conference in an existing felony drug case. In that case, you already have a lawyer assigned to you. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearing in that existing drug case will be a status conference February 6th. It will also be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $1,800 secured appearance bond. So $1,850 total monetary bond. The third and final matter you're here on is allegations of new offenses. Those allegations are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, 1 count of dangerous drug possession, they're both class 4 felonies, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a class 6 felony, and 1 count of obstruction, a class 1 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support those new allegations and appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings on the new charges will be a status conference February 4th and a preliminary hearing February 6th, both at 8:30. Those 2 hearings will be the same in both of the cases involving new charges. The one difference is that on the new charges based on the new arrest, not the direct complaint, because they are, at least one of them is a felony offense alleged to have been committed while you were on pretrial release in that existing felony drug case, you're not eligible for release on bond on the new drug charges. On those charges, you will be held in custody without bail at least until an evidentiary hearing is held. That hearing will be February 5th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Because you will not be eligible for release on bond at least until after that hearing on the 5th, I encourage you to wait until after that hearing before attempting to post any of the monetary bonds. Do you understand that information? Okay, thank you, Ms. Adkerson. You can step back and get your paperwork. Okay. Mr. Molina, if you'll give me 1 quick second, please. Okay, sorry about that. Come on in, Mr. Molina. Dionisio Ledesma, if you would please work your way to the chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Ethan Molina, September 9th, 2000.
Thank you very much, Mr. Molina. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of robbery, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of solicitation to commit prostitution, a class 1 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference February 4th and then a preliminary hearing February 6th. Both of those will be at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown. Let me finish this and then I'll come back to your questions. Okay. I have imposed a secured appearance bond on these allegations in the amount of $50,000. Secured appearance means you can use a bonding company to post that bond if you choose to. If you do post that bond and you're released from custody, you are ordered not to return to the scene where the underlying allegations took place. You cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses, and you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription if you're released from custody. Okay, what's your question?
So that bond, that 50,000, what, everything has to get paid? The whole thing?
Well, you can use a bonding company. Bonding companies often require less than the full amount up front. Okay. If you want to try to use a bonding company, when you get back into the facility, there's in various different places, there's a list of bonding companies and their phone numbers posted. Okay. I would encourage you to find one of those lists. You can use any phone. My understanding is all of those companies are open 24/7. You could call 1, 2, or all of those companies to see what their specific requirements might be.
All right, thank you.
Yes, what other questions?
That's it.
That's it. Okay, thank you, Mr. Molina. You can step back and get your paperwork. Dionisio Ledesma to the podium in the courtroom, please. Robert Dunn, if you would please work your way to the chair.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Dionisio Ledesma, June 2nd, 91.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ledesma. You're here on 3 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is a failure to comply with court terms warrant issued by the Country Meadows Justice Court. The underlying allegation in that case is a misdemeanor criminal trespassing allegation. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of release conditions on that misdemeanor warrant. That lawyer, I've appointed that lawyer for you.
Thank you.
I thought you had to wait till your next hearing, but I did it here.
Thank you.
Okay, your next hearing on that misdemeanor warrant will be an arraignment hearing February 3rd. It's going to be at 8:30 in the Country Meadows Justice Court. On that warrant, you have a $50 secured appearance bond, 50. The other two matters you're here on are both probation violation warrants. In both of those cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. They allege that you have violated terms 3, 4, and 5 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer for you in both of those probation cases. Your next court hearing in the two probation cases will be a revocation arraignment February 5th at 8:30. On one of those warrants, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. On the second warrant, you are not eligible for release on bond.
I understand.
So you will be held in custody without bail at least until you see the probation judge on February 5th. You do have $550 in monetary bonds on those other two warrants, but since you'll be held to see the probation judge on the 5th, I would suggest that you don't try to post those bonds at least until after you go to that probation hearing.
Okay, I hear you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, sir. You can step back and get your
All right,
paperwork.
have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert Dunn to the podium in the courtroom, please. Ezekiel Salinas to the chair. Good morning. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Robert Dunn, 22169.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dunn. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is a grand jury warrant. A state grand jury was convened and found probable cause to return an indictment against you. That indictment contains one count of aggravated taking the identity of another, one count of illegal control of an enterprise, those two are Class 3 felonies, and one count of burglary, a Class 4 felony. The grand jury warrant alleges that all three of those offenses were committed in August of 2021. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you against those allegations. Your next court hearing will be an arraignment February 5th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. And on that grand jury warrant, you have a $25,000 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is a probation violation warrant. In that case, a petition to revoke your probation alleges that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I've also appointed a lawyer for you in the probation matter. Your next hearing in that case will be a revocation arraignment February 5th at 8:30. On that warrant, you have a $750 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $25,750. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot have contact with any alleged victims, witnesses, or co-defendants, if there are any and you know who they are, of the allegations in the grand jury indictment. And you are ordered not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription if you're released. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dunn. You can step back and get your paperwork. Ezekiel Salinas to the podium in the courtroom, please. Devontae Anderson, if you would please work your way to the chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Ezekiel Salinas, 41395.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salinas. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is a probation violation warrant issued by the Yavapai County Superior Court. In that case, if you don't already have a lawyer appointed to represent you, one will be appointed by the Yavapai County judge at your next hearing. That hearing will be an arraignment hearing February 3rd at 8:30 in the Yavapai County Superior Court. And on that warrant, you have a $25,000 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is a failure to appear warrant issued by the El Centro Justice Court on a misdemeanor case involving failure to obey law enforcement allegations. On that warrant, you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of release conditions, and I've appointed one for you. Your next court hearing on the misdemeanor warrant will be an arraignment February 3rd at 8:30, that one in the El Centro Justice Court. On that warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. Saunders, do you know, so if he has Yavapai and Maricopa justice court cases on the same date and time, will you guys take him to Maricopa or will Yavapai come get him?
don't know.
You don't know? Okay. So the reason I was asking that is both your hearing dates are the same date and time. If you don't post that bond, MCSO will transport you or Yavapai County will come get you, but you'll miss one of the hearings because you'll be taken to one and not the other. So if you post that bond, then you're still going to have to deal with that because you'll be out of custody and you can't be in two places at once. So if you post the bond and you're out of custody, whichever hearing you do not go to, I would encourage you to contact the lawyer working with you or that court as soon as possible, either before or after that hearing, because they'll issue a warrant when you're not at that hearing. If you're in custody and you're transported to one and not the other, then work with the lawyer that is assigned to you in the case that you end up in court in. Tell that lawyer that you missed a hearing in another case because it's the same date and time, and have that lawyer help you work with that.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Well, he said one of my charges was not listening to law enforcement?
Yeah, it looks like the underlying allegation in the El Centro misdemeanor case is a failure to obey a police officer allegation.
What's El Centro?
It used to be called the Downtown Justice Court. They recently changed names. So I don't know how long this case has been pending. I don't know when it was filed, but the name of the court is El Centro Justice Court. It used to be called the Downtown Justice Court.
And it's just saying that I didn't obey law enforcement?
Well, this particular warrant is a failure to appear in court. So that's an existing case, something that you were probably arrested on back when the original allegation happened. The charge was filed, there was a subsequent hearing, and then this warrant was issued when you weren't in court at that hearing.
I don't even know what that's for.
So if that's not the hearing you end up at, use your paperwork. So you have the phone number to the court in that paperwork. So if you're in custody and you get transported to this court hearing, that judge can help you answer all those questions, get this back on track for you. If this is not the hearing you end up at, call either the court or the public defender's office and try and work with them to get this case back on track.
Okay, so I know I'm not going to be able to post bond.
Okay.
So I'm going to be in here. So do you know if they're going to transfer me to Yavapai or I'm going to...
That's what I was asking him. I don't know. I don't know how that will work. So if you are in custody, you will end up at one of those hearings. They won't let that hearing date come and go without you going to one of them, but they can't realistically take you to two different places.
Right.
So I'm not sure which hearing you'll end up at, but if you don't post that bond, once you get to the facility that you're going to be housed at, you can talk to the officers there and see if they know how that will work. And if they tell you that you're going to go to Yavapai, then you could use your phone there and try to start calling the public defender's office or the El Centro court from wherever you are.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Salinas. You can step back and get your paperwork. Devontae Anderson to the podium in the courtroom, please. Erica Calabrese to the chair. Good morning. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Devontae Anderson, 6/20/89.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anderson. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. They allege that you have violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 15. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you in both probation cases. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing February 5th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these warrants, you have a total secured appearance bond of $1,750. It's $1,000 on one of the warrants, $750 on the second. If you post that bond and you're released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Anderson. You can step back. He'll bring your paperwork out to you.
Hold on a second, sir.
Erica Calabrese to the podium in the courtroom, please. Rand Lawson to the chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Eric Calabrese, 4793.
Thank you very much. You are here on 4 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is an arrest warrant issued after a direct complaint was filed alleging new allegations against you. The allegations in that direct complaint are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, 1 count of narcotic drug possession, those are both class 4 felonies, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, which is a class 6 felony. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you against the allegations in that direct complaint. Your next court hearings on those charges will be a status conference February 4th and then a preliminary hearing February 6th both of those at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that direct complaint warrant, you have a $50 secured appearance bond. The other 3 matters you're here on are all probation violation warrants. In all 3 of those cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. They all allege that you have violated terms 3, 5, and 15. I've appointed a lawyer for you in all 3 of the probation cases. Your next hearing in all 3 of those matters will be a revocation arraignment February 5th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. So you'll have hearings all at 8:30 on the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. On the probation matters, you have a total secured appearance bond of $2,000. It's $1,000 on one of the warrants, $500 on the other 2. So your total bond for all 4 matters that you're here on will be $2,050. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions? Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Ram Lawson to the podium in the courtroom, please. Thomas Garcia, if you would please work your way to the chair.
Ram Lawson, hey, I don't know why everybody's laying down. Well, get up. Hey, Ram Lawson. Get up, wake up. Wake up.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Ron Lawson, 7/16/81.
All right, thank you, Ms. Lawson. You are here on 5 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is a failure to comply with court terms warrant issued by the Apache Junction Municipal Court. That's on a misdemeanor case involving shoplifting allegations. On that misdemeanor warrant, you're entitled to a lawyer for purposes of release conditions. That lawyer will be appointed for you by the Apache Junction judge at your next hearing. That will be an arraignment hearing February 3rd at 8:30 in the Apache Junction Municipal Court. On that warrant, you have an $800 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations and appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings on the new charges will be a status conference February 4th and then a preliminary hearing February 6th, both of those at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On those new charges, you have a $50 secured appearance bond. The last 3 matters you're here on are all probation violation allegations. In all 3 of those cases, the allegation is that the new charges violate term 1 of your probation. In all 3 of those cases, I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing in the probation matters will be a revocation arraignment February 5th at 8:30. And on those probation matters, you have a total secured appearance bond of $1,000. So your total bond for all 5 matters will be $1,850. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and are released, you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lawson. You can step back and get your paperwork. Thomas Garcia to the podium in the courtroom, please. Celeste Montano to the chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Thomas Garcia, 42882.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garcia. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation has been filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 15. I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment February 5th at 8:30, and on that warrant you have a $500 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you're released, you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Garcia. You can step back and get your paperwork. Celeste Montano to the podium in the courtroom, please. Daniel White, if you would please work your way to the chair. Good morning. May I please have your name and date of birth?
Good morning. Celeste Montano, June 4th, 1997.
Thank you very much. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation was filed alleging that you have violated terms 5 and 15. I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment February 5th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. And on that warrant, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork.
I have one question.
Okay.
I have two, don't I have two warrants, or is it just this one?
I'm
That's
only
it?
seeing you on the Maricopa County Superior Court probation violation warrant. It is possible that you have another warrant from a court that I won't see you on. So if you think that there's something else out there, you can ask jail staff and they can check your door card to see if you have any other warrants.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
No.
All right, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Daniel White to the podium in the courtroom, please. April Rose Lowe to the chair. Good morning. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Yeah, Daniel White, 9484.
Thank you very much, Mr. White. You are here on 4 probation violation warrants. In all 4 cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. All 4 of them allege that you have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I've appointed a lawyer for you in all 4 cases. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment February 5th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. So 1 hearing date and time, but you're going to have 4 cases heard on that calendar. On each of these warrants, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $1,000, all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released, in addition to getting to that next court hearing, you're ordered not to possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. White. You can step back and get your paperwork. April Rose Lowe to the podium in the courtroom, please. Tristina Tapia to the chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
April Rose Lowe, 10/22/96.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lowe. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed, alleging that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I've appointed a lawyer for you in both cases. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment February 5th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. And on these 2 warrants, you have a total secured appearance bond of $250. It's $150 on one of the warrants, $100 on the other. So total $250. If you post that and you're released, you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lowe. You can step back and get your paperwork. Tristina Tapia to the podium in the courtroom, please. Jordan Galati to the chair. She's hard of hearing. We'll get some headphones.
I can read your lips for the most part.
We have headphones, so we can get some so that you can hopefully hear and see my lips.
Right.
Okay, on that, somewhere there's volume control, so if you need my voice louder or quieter, you should have control of that somewhere. You might be turning it down. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Tristina Tapia, 1982.
Thank you, Ms. Tapia. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation has been filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 6 and 7 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a probation revocation arraignment hearing. It will be February 5th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. And on that warrant, you have a $50 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you are released, in addition to getting to that hearing February 5th, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
I do.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you because of the door.
I do.
You do. Okay, thank you very much. You can step to your left, get your paperwork. You can either hand those to the officer or leave them right on the podium, whatever she prefers.
Just to clear, I have my paperwork.
Okay, Jordan Galati to the podium in the courtroom, please. Mariah Amperano to the chair. Thank you, officer. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Jordan Galati, February 3rd, 2001.
Thank you very much, Mr. Galati. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of disorderly conduct, 1 count of assault, and 1 count of causing criminal damage. All 3 of them are Class 1 misdemeanors. I have found probable cause to support those allegations. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer to defend you. That lawyer will be appointed by the next judge you see at your next court hearing. That hearing will be an arraignment hearing February 18th. It will take place at 9 o'clock in the morning in the Peoria Municipal Court. Mr. Galati, I am releasing you on your own recognizance, so you will be released from custody. That means it's going to be your responsibility to get yourself to the Peoria Court February 18th at 9 o'clock. Once you are released from custody, you cannot go back to the scene where these alleged events took place, and you cannot have contact with any alleged victims. If that means that I'm ordering you not to return to your primary residence, you must find an alternate residence at least until your first hearing on the 18th. You can have one civil standby with local law enforcement to return to that location to retrieve any items you have there that you might need between now and the 18th. If you need to take advantage of that civil standby, please do that by calling the non-emergency number to any local police agency. They will give you further instructions on how to meet with an officer to go back to that location. Please don't go back there more than that one time without a law enforcement officer. And please retrieve any items you have at that location that you need that one time when you go back, if you need to go back, because you only get one of those civil standbys.
Understood.
Okay, do you understand all of those conditions?
I do have one question.
Okay.
Would they be able to help with transport today, maybe? I don't know any other phone numbers.
Law enforcement?
Yeah.
You can ask. I highly doubt it. You mean like, will they pick you up and take you home? It's possible. I don't know. So if that's what you want, what I would say is talk to MCSO, talk to the jail staff and see if you can get a phone number to law enforcement. Call them, say, hey, I'm at the ITR. I have a civil standby to go back. Maybe they'll say, we have an officer down there. Sure, we'll take you. Maybe they'll say, no, you have to meet us there. I don't know what they would say. But answer's always no if you don't ask.
Worth a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Nope. All right, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Mariah Amperano to the podium in the courtroom, please. Edward James to the chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Mariah Amperano, 3/14/91.
Thank you, Ms. Amperano. You are here on a failure to appear warrant issued by the El Centro Justice Court on a misdemeanor case involving driving on a suspended license. Because that is a misdemeanor allegation, you are not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. If you want to have a lawyer represent you in that case and you don't already have one, you will have to hire a lawyer at your own expense.
Okay.
Your next court hearing on that misdemeanor case will be an arraignment hearing February 13th at 8 o'clock in the morning in the El Centro Justice Court. I am releasing you on your own recognizance, so you will be responsible for getting to that hearing on your own.
Okay.
Once you're released, you are ordered not to operate a motor vehicle if you don't have a valid driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand those conditions?
I sure do.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back. Edward James to the podium in the courtroom, please. Shannon DiNardo to the chair. Good morning. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Morning, Honor. Edward James, July 2nd, 1985.
Thank you very much, Mr. James. You are here on a failure to comply with court terms warrant issued by the San Marcos Justice Court. The underlying allegation in that involves misdemeanor failing to stay at the scene of an accident. Because this is a post-adjudication misdemeanor matter, you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. That means if you don't have a lawyer already working with you, but you want one, you will have to hire a lawyer to work with you further in this case. Your next court hearing on this warrant will be an arraignment hearing February 18th. It's going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning in the San Marcos Justice Court. I am releasing you on your own recognizance, so you're going to get out of custody. That means it's going to be your responsibility to get yourself to that court hearing February 18th. If you're not there, that court's just going to continue to issue warrants, so you'll just have to keep coming back through here until you make it to that court. So go to court on February 18th at 10 o'clock. And hopefully you can get whatever the underlying issue is in this case resolved then.
Basically get it handled.
I'm sorry?
Finally get it handled.
Hopefully, yeah, that's the goal. Try and take care of it so that I don't have to see you again. Not that it hasn't been enjoyable, but I'm sure it's been more enjoyable for me to see you than you to be here. So hopefully you don't have to come back through here.
All right. So
all right. Go to court on the 18th. It's in your paperwork, phone number, address, date, and time to that court. Okay, thank you, sir. Shannon DiNardo to the podium in the courtroom, please. Javon Kirkland to the chair. Good morning. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Shannon Bernardo, 9/28/71.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nardo. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of dangerous drug possession and 1 count of narcotic drug possession. They are both class 4 felonies. I have not found probable cause to support either of these allegations. What that means, Ms. DiNardo, is that you're going to be released from custody, but it does not mean that these allegations are legally dismissed. It is still possible that the county attorney's office will file formal charges on these allegations. If that happens, you are entitled to a lawyer to defend you. So I am appointing a lawyer to represent you in the event charges are formally filed. I'm also going to give you court hearings. When you go to these court hearings, that's when you'll find out whether charges have been formally filed or not. So the first hearing you have to attend is a status conference February 13th at 8:30. The second one will be a preliminary hearing February 18th at 8:30. So right now you're going to get out of custody. I'm not imposing any restrictions on you other than that you go to court on the 13th and the 18th. Do you understand that information?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Okay, thank you.
Javon Kirkland to the podium in the courtroom, please. You can set that wherever you want to. Yep, that's perfect. Thanks. Okay, can I have your name and date of birth?
Javon Kirkland, July 31st, 2002.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kirkland. Okay, you are here because the state of Nevada has issued a warrant for your arrest. Before you were put on a court calendar here in Arizona, Arizona confirmed with Nevada that that is a valid warrant, and Nevada has indicated that they're willing to extradite you. That means Nevada wants to come to Arizona and take you back to Nevada. Before you came into the courtroom, I know the answer is yes because I saw it, but did you get that big card to review?
Yeah.
Okay, were you provided an opportunity to read that?
Yeah, but I didn't understand it quite the best.
Okay, I'm going to hopefully go through what it says. I'm going to go over the 2 different options that it gives you in that paperwork. So I will go through them. I'll give you an opportunity to ask questions. I'm not just going to force you to read that and tell me what you want to pick. So we'll talk about it. Okay, as I indicated, you're here on an out-of-state warrant. So you, unlike everybody else that has already gone, will have a choice to make at this hearing. You can choose to waive your right to an extradition hearing and agree to go back to Nevada, or you can demand to have an extradition hearing and have governor's warrants signed by Arizona and Nevada before your return to Nevada. If you pick the first option, if you waive your right to an extradition hearing, first and foremost, you are not waiving any rights or defenses that you have in the underlying criminal case in Nevada. You are only waiving your right to an extradition hearing here in Arizona, and you're agreeing that Nevada can come to Arizona and that you'll go back with them. So if you pick that first option, you're waiving extradition proceedings here in Arizona, you're agreeing to go back to Nevada. If you do that, you will stay in custody here in Maricopa County without bond for up to 30 days to allow Nevada authorities an opportunity to come get you. Okay. So your first choice is waive your right to an extradition hearing here in Arizona and agree to go back to Nevada, stay in custody for up to 30 days without bond. The second choice you can make is not to waive your right to an extradition hearing. If you pick that second option, I will set an extradition hearing for February 10th at 1:30 in the afternoon. It will take place here in Maricopa County, not here in this facility. It'll be downtown in the Maricopa County Superior Court. In Arizona, extradition proceedings are civil proceedings, not criminal proceedings. So what that means is I could not appoint a lawyer to represent you if you pick that second option and go to that extradition hearing, but you have the right to hire a lawyer to represent you if you choose that second option and you would like to be represented. If you pick that second option and I set that extradition hearing, you are bond eligible on that Nevada warrant. Your bond would be $25,000 secured appearance. You could use a bonding company to post that. If you picked that second option and you posted that bond, you would be eligible for release while the extradition proceedings are taking place. That means you'd get out of custody, you'd have to stay in Arizona, and you would have to get yourself to all of your court hearings throughout the extradition process. The end of the extradition proceedings in that second option are governor's warrants. So the Arizona governor and the Nevada governor would both sign a warrant that would then authorize Nevada to come to Arizona and take you back. That process from the initial hearing to getting a governor's warrant could take up to 90 days, but you stay bond eligible for that entire 90-day period. Do you understand the two options?
So basically, the first one, I'm basically going to stay in jail for 30 more days until Vegas comes to get me.
Up to 30. They could come tomorrow. They could come next week. They could come on day 30. But yes, you've correctly summarized that. It's just that it's up to 30 days. It's not necessarily exactly 30.
Okay. And then the second one, I'm able to bond out.
Right.
But I have up to, what is the 90 days for exactly?
It's the time period that the extradition proceedings take. So more than likely, you would have your first hearing on the 10th. You would probably then have another hearing 30 days after that, and then another hearing 30 days after that. The conclusion of those proceedings is governor's warrants being signed, and that's when you would be sent back to Nevada. So what exactly is legally happening in those 90 days would be a question for the extradition judge, but it's that 90-day time period between the initial hearing and getting the governor's warrant in that second option that you stay eligible for release on bond.
Okay, yeah.
Do you understand the options, and now you're just kind of contemplating what you want to pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you explain the second one more time for me, please?
Sure. If you pick the second option, I set an extradition hearing. That hearing will be February 10th at 1:30. You can hire a lawyer to defend you at that hearing if you choose to. You would have a $25,000 secured appearance bond. If you posted that bond, you would be released from custody, required to stay in Arizona. You could not post that bond and then take yourself back to Vegas. You'd have to stay here. You'd have to go to that hearing on the 10th and any subsequent hearings set in the extradition proceedings. And those conditions would stay in place for up to 90 days while the extradition proceedings are securing governor's warrants.
And at the end of that, then I will go back to Nevada?
If governor's warrants are signed by both governors, then yes, that's what legally obligates Arizona to release you to Nevada to take you back.
Okay. I believe I'll do the second option.
You'd like the second option?
Yes.
Okay, then I will set an extradition hearing for February 10th at 1:30. Again, you have the right to hire a lawyer to represent you if you wish to. Your bond will be $25,000. You can use a bonding company to post that. If you post that and you are out of custody, you have to get yourself to court February 10th, and you have to stay in Arizona. Any questions?
I'm sorry, just 1 second. I'm
Sure.
thinking, I'm sorry. I believe that may be it.
Okay. And I'll tell you too, Mr. Kirkland, at the extradition proceedings, when you get to that hearing on the 10th, so like I said, I can't appoint a lawyer to defend you, but there is a public defender that sits in on those proceedings. So if between now and the 10th you think of other questions that you want to run by somebody, you can always talk to the public defender that's at that hearing. They won't stand up and make an appearance and represent you, but they can kind of answer some questions that you might have. The extradition judge could also answer additional questions.
Okay, and I currently reside in Phoenix. That's about how far from it? Because I'm not familiar with Arizona.
We're in Phoenix, the court's in Phoenix, so I don't know where in Phoenix you live. It's kind of a big city, but the court that you're going to have to go to is, I would say, maybe 5-10 minutes from here, a little bit further east.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No, that should be it. Okay. I will be able to post bond today?
You can post that bond as soon as you walk back there if you want to. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kirkland. There's your paperwork. You can step back to your left. All right, number 15 on the calendar, Darian T.K. Emery, date of birth 9/23/2001, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to combative behavior. He's here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of aggravated assault on a healthcare professional, a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend him. His next court hearings will be a status conference February 4th and a preliminary hearing February 6th, both at 8:30 downtown, and he has a $2,500 secured appearance bond. Number 1 on the calendar, Daryl Alexander, date of birth 881, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to combative behavior. He is here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke alleges that he has violated terms 3 and 5. I've appointed a lawyer to represent him. His next hearing will be a revocation arraignment February 5th at 8:30, and he has a $250 secured appearance bond. Number 40 on the calendar, Cody Alexander Tolsdorf, date of birth 1/14/94, is still undergoing medical care and currently unable to participate in an initial appearance hearing. If anything changes when I visit the two individuals I have to visit cell side, I will update this recording. Otherwise, this court will stand in recess until 11 a.m.
Good morning, folks. Can the jail hear us today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And then do we have Mr. Harris here? Good morning, Mr. Poston. Do we have Mr. Harris?
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, sir.
All right. Give
Good morning.
me one moment. We're just getting situated over here in the court, and then we'll get started. For purposes of the record, the court's just going to indicate that Mr. Woody and Mr. Davis were both continued to the afternoon session today based upon the circumstances indicated by the jail. So we won't be hearing those matters today and this morning. Thank you.
Who was the other one, Your Honor? Woody, Davis and Woody, you said?
Yeah, Woody. Like
The Misto?
Jeremiah Woody. It sounds like the individual who's involved with Mr. Harris. So yeah, it's
Okay.
with that as a misdemeanor. Okay, so Mr. Harris, we'll go ahead and get started on your initial appearance this morning. Good morning. You are being charged with a misdemeanor offensive assault under 13-1203. This you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. In review of the information before the court at this time is going to order that you be released on today's date with some conditions of release. Court is going to order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Mr. Woody, who is described in the incident, do the two of you live together?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. No, sir.
The court is just going to order that you not have any contact with that individual as well as a condition of release. And your next court date in this matter is going to be what's called an arraignment. That's going to be on February 28th, 2025, 8:30 a.m. at the Justice Court. Make sure that you appear at that hearing on February 28th. Failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued, but you are being released today. Any questions, sir, at this time?
No, sir. Release on that charge. Release on something. Just no, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, with that then, is there anything we need to clarify or are we good?
Oh, this one. No questions. I'm good. I'm good.
You good? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Harris. You're excused.
Your Honor, this is jail here. The housing unit officer where Mr. Montaño is located is stating that Mr. Montaño.
Okay. That's number 6. All right. All right. So we'll just go ahead and indicate for the record that Mr. Montaño is going to be continued to the afternoon session for today. We'll go ahead and approve that. And then did you have an update as well? Perfect. Okay. So Mr. Montaño, we'll go ahead and continue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we don't have access. Yeah.
Okay, good morning, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Good morning, Donald Albert Delgado Jr.
Mr. Delgado, you're being charged today with a couple of felony matters, specifically second-degree murder and being a prohibited possessor. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have a right to assistance of counsel, and there's counsel seated next to you to assist you today. The state is recommending that bond be set in this matter in the amount of $1 million plus release of pretrial services if bond is posted. Mr. Poston, let me, before you make a record, are you requesting this be concurrent with current charges right now or a separate $1 million bond?
Consecutive, Your Honor. I would note that he's got a prior murder conviction in Nevada and also the other Pima County Superior Court case. And $1 million is par for the course on murder, sir.
And can you clarify for me the charges in the other pending case?
Let me look them back up, but the case number I have is CR 2025-0267. One moment, please. Either way, Your Honor, we're still looking at a murder case. The $1 million is what the state's asking for, and pretrial just crashed.
Yeah, pretrial services has not been working for the court either, so that's a concern. What I show is, in looking up the case, the indictment, the charges appear to arise from the same incident: aggravated assault, discharge of firearm, possession of a deadly weapon, attempt to commit first-degree murder. So, okay. Mr. Poston, any additional record, though, that you want to make?
I don't think it gets any more clear that this person is a danger to the community and he's a repeat murderer, it would appear. And there's a flight risk, and it just doesn't get any more serious, Your Honor. $1 million.
Thank you. And then defense counsel, if you want to make a record.
Your Honor, we just asked to reduce the bond given his previous inability to pay the previous bond. So just something just to lower the bond, please.
Okay. At this time, and then Mr. Poston, is this getting is this going to have a new CR number, and these are probably going to be either consolidated, or is that what's likely to happen in this matter?
It's information I do not have, Your Honor.
Okay. Right now, we're talking about Mr. Delgado. Brand new case. Okay. Okay. At this time, the court is going to order that bond be set in the amount of $1 million, cash is secured with release of pretrial services if bond is posted. Court at this time is going to indicate that bond is concurrent with CR 2025-0267. Additional conditions of release imposed in this case is that the defendant may not possess any firearms or weapons. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial services. The Pima County Legal Defender's Office is appointed. Mr. Delgado, next court date for you is a preliminary hearing, February 10, 2025, 1:30 p.m. Make sure that you appear at future proceedings. Failure to appear can result in a warrant being issued. Any questions before we conclude? Yes.
That he does post the bond and is out on the streets, I would ask no contact with the family of the deceased, as well as do not return to the incident location.
Any objection to those conditions from defense?
No objection.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and add as additional conditions of release: no contact with family members of the victim, Mr. Grace, and also not to go back to the incident location. Anything additional from anybody before we conclude?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, with that, Mr. Delgado, you are excused. Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be in here. Yeah, I'll put that. I'll save it. And so, if I could just clarify, who do we have as defense counsel? I don't know if I have your name.
My name is Ariana Adams.
Adam, okay, thank you very much.
I'm with the public defender's office.
Thank you. Yeah. Listen to Chuck. Okay, all right. So we're gonna do at this point then, so is this Mr. Matthews?
Yes.
Mr. Matthews, we're gonna conduct a hearing in just a moment. Let me just notify everybody, we do have, the court made an error with the previous defendant. We need to call him back after Mr. Matthews, because I need to clarify the bond. If Mr. Delgado's still there, let's bring him back after Mr. Matthews, okay? All right, so Mr. Matthews, at this time, you're being seen on a number of matters today. We're gonna take this one at a time. First matter is our updated, our new charges, felony charges of promoting prison contraband, possession of a narcotic and drug paraphernalia. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have a right to assistance of counsel. Those counsel seated next to you to assist you as to this matter. State is recommending that bond be set in the amount of $2,500 plus release to pretrial services if bond is posted, and this is a consecutive bond. And Mr. Poston, any record?
Your Honor, after all this, he was allegedly found in possession of fentanyl pills. So the state's looking for consecutive on this one.
And then there are pending felony charges from which the defendant had been previously released.
Yes, Your Honor, this is in lieu of no bond. The state does have the option, but considering this charge, we're only opting to add $2,500 to what he's already being held on.
Okay. And then, thank you. So, Ms. Adams, any record you want to make?
Your Honor, since pretrial services is down, I don't have it in front of me, but we're just asking for a nominal bond, and given his previous holds.
Okay. And then, can the jail clarify for me what holds we currently have on Mr. Matthews, if any?
Your Honor, this is the jail. It looks like this Matthews is being held on another Superior Court charges.
Okay, so a felony hold, probably?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
Multiple bonds.
Okay. So, Mr. Matthews, at this time, the court is going to adopt the state's recommendation. It's going to set a monetary bond of $2,500 cash and secured with release. For pretrial services, the bond is posted. The court did have the option of doing no bond, but the court's just going to go ahead and set that $2,500 bond. Conditions of release are no alcohol or illegal drugs, and then follow monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial services, as you will be released to third-party supervision of pretrial services if bond is posted as to these matters. The Pima County Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you in this matter. Your next court date as to these new charges, February 10, 2025, at 1:30 p.m. for preliminary hearing. Make sure that you go to future hearings. Failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued for your arrest. At this time, we're going to go ahead and move forward to the other two matters that we have today. Here's that we had you released on it looks like you were picked up on a warrant for failure to appear, is my understanding. Let me double check. And so what the court is going to do is the court's going to set, and this is as to several prior offenses for which there was an arraignment. The court's going to set a bond in this one in the amount of just an additional $500 cash or secured. Released to pretrial services if bond is posted, no alcohol or illegal drugs, follow monitoring or treatment as recommended by pretrial services. Court will appoint again the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. As to these other pending charges, which we've referred to today, February 5th, 2025, 1:30, there's an arraignment at Superior Court, so you'll be obligated to appear at that hearing. If you're still incarcerated, you'll be either made available in person or transported or made available virtually to appear at that arraignment at Superior Court. And then finally, we have a South Tucson matter. This is for a failure to appear for shoplifting. Since we're holding you on the other matters, the court is to make sure that you get any time credit for the misdemeanor charge in South Tucson. The court is just going to set bond $100 cash or secured. Court will appoint Michael Vaughn to represent you in that matter and will affirm prior release conditions. For the South Tucson matter, for the prior shoplifting charge, next court date is an arraignment, January 30th, 2025, 10 o'clock a.m. at the South Tucson City Court. And as I've indicated before, failure to appear can result in a warrant being issued for your arrest. Any questions before we conclude?
Your Honor, this is the jail. Mr. Matthews already had a bond and he has a hearing set for today, as a matter of fact, on the South Tucson matter. The only thing he needed to be seen on is the new felony charges.
Okay, so just one moment then. What was it?
Still wrong with that alternate.
Was he seen on those? Well, the jail, was he already seen on the South Tucson or also the arraignment?
That is correct. That is correct, Your Honor. He's already been set for an arraignment. The only thing that he needed to be seen on is the new felony charges. The contraband and the narcotics charges.
Understood. Okay, thanks for clarifying. So the court will order vacating the previous orders entered as to the $500 bond and the $100 bond is indicated on the record. The $2,500 cash secured bond will be the only order of the court along with those release conditions for those new charges that we indicated, the felony charges. So I'm going to go ahead and just approve on this end, and then if you just want to delete them as needed. Okay. All right. So it's kind of confusing, Mr. Matthews. Do you have any questions about what's happened today?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sounds good. So then you are excused. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, we have Mr. Delgado back.
Okay, let's go ahead and bring it back if we can, please. Okay, so Mr. Delgado, welcome back. We have, court made a little bit of an error last time. Court did not recognize that we had you in two different courts, and the court is unable to institute concurrent bond between the Justice Court and the Superior Court. So that's why we're bringing you back. The court has to make sort of an independent bond determination as to the new second-degree murder charge and prohibited possession charges. So at this time, given all the information available to the court is going to set bond in the amount of $500,000 cash is secured with release to pretrial services if bond is posted. And this is in addition to any bond that's set in the other CR matter at Superior Court. Same conditions of release apply. Legal defenders still appointed. Same contact restrictions apply. Yeah. Okay. So then,
Your Honor, I'm not sure I understand here. We asked for the $1 million based on this murder and this murder alone, and murder just by itself has traditionally been a $1 million bond. Now we've got the pretrial indicates that he's also a convicted murderer out of the state of Nevada. So the state strongly believes that the $1 million is appropriate in this situation.
my understanding is that there's $1 million bond in the CR case, 2025-0267, correct?
There is.
Right.
Okay, I see your point, Your Honor.
Right.
Thank you.
So total bond that's required for the defendant to be released based upon the court's order today is $1.5 million. So that's the total amount. So it's not that the court is reducing it lower than $1 million in general. It's just that now there's an additional $500,000 bond in this case. So any additional record, Mr. Poston? And then Ms. Adams, any additional record that you want to make regarding the court's decision today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So thank you for coming back, Mr. Delgado. You are excused at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And let's see. Where is my phone? Let's go. Good morning, sir. Can you state your name, please? I think you're muted on that end. Can you unmute, please? Can you repeat your name, please, sir?
Good morning, James Calamari.
Okay, give me one moment to pick up your file. Okay. All right, so Mr. Calamari, you're here today on initial appearance of a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Just one moment as I review the probable cause statement. Okay. Based upon the information available to the court, at this time, the court is going to order that you be released on the current misdemeanor charge with some conditions of release. The court will order that you not engage in use of alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons, no contact with the alleged victim in this matter, who is Ms. Green, and then not to go to her residence or workplace. In the event that that is your shared residence, the court will order that you can attend one time with a police escort to pick up belongings. Next court date for you is going to be February 28th, 2025, 1:30 p.m. And that'll be at the Justice Court. Make sure that you appear at that next hearing on February 28th. Failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued for your arrest. And any questions, sir, at this time?
No, sir.
Okay, you're excused. Thank you very much.
Solteras.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name, please?
Josephine Contreras.
One moment as I pull up your file. Okay, looks like Ms. Contreras, you've been taken into custody as to a pending misdemeanor warrant arising out of several misdemeanor charges. Cruelty to animals, 2 charges, neglect of animals, no vaccination, and then also neglect, inadequate space. So these are misdemeanor offenses. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So we have a looks like bond was previously set in the amount of $300.
Well, we have you contact law enforcement. Yes.
All right. Just one moment as I'm taking a look at all this. Sorry, Ms. Contreras. So we have a court date that's set to be occurring in the Green Valley Justice Court, February 6th, 8:30 a.m. If the court releases you on today's date, Ms. Contreras, will you promise to the court that you can appear at that hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So at this time, the court will order that the defendant is released under promise to appear. Court will order that the case management. Well, the court will first order no contact with any of the animals alleged to have been maltreated. Court will order that you appear at the case management conference February 6, 2025, 8:30 a.m. at the Green Valley Justice Court. Failure to appear at future hearings can result in a warrant being issued for your arrest, and then we're doing these hearings all over again. Do you have any questions at this time? Okay.
Your Honor, she has a probation violation hold.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You do? Okay. All right. Well, that changes the dynamic a little bit. So what the court will do then is, if there's that hold, the court cannot release you necessarily on today's date. The court then, just to make sure that you get time credit, the court's going to set bond in the amount of $100 cash or secured as to these pending charges, the Green Valley charge. And that, even if you post that, though, it sounds like until the probation matter is addressed, then you won't be able to be released. Let me just get it. Let me see who we're going to appoint you counsel today. Let me see who we have for you. I'm going to go ahead and appoint Anna Dennis to represent you on today's date. That'll be the attorney who's going to assist you with this matter, given that you're being held today. So you still do have that hearing February 6, 2025, 8:30 a.m. If you're still incarcerated, then I imagine the jail will make arrangements for you to appear at that Green Valley matter. Any questions? Go ahead.
I had court recently, and it was scheduled for like April 6th, I think. Why has it been changed?
I'm not sure what matter you're referring to. It might be this one. It might be another one. You may want to just confer with Ms. Dennis, the assigned attorney, to clarify that for you. It looks like you have a little bit of time though. So any other questions?
Do you have a bond on the probation hold?
I don't see anything on that right now. I'm just setting a nominal bond of $100 cash secured on this one to make sure you get time credit for this one, if applicable. But I don't know if there's a bond set for the probation hold, unfortunately. So, okay. With that, then, thank you, Ms. Gutierrez. You're excused.
You're being held on the bond. This way back.
Coronado. All the way up. All the way up.
Good morning, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Carlos Coronado.
Give me one moment, Mr. Coronado. To review the file, looks like, Mr. Coronado, we have you on a couple of matters today. One is a justice court matter. One is a city court matter. So we'll take the justice court matter first. Justice court charges criminal trespass in the first degree, which is a misdemeanor offense. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Based upon the information before the court is going to order as to this charge that you be released on your promise to appear. As to this trespass charge, your next court date is February 28th, 2025, 8:30 a.m. at the Justice Court. As conditions of release, the court is going to order that you not go back to the victim's residence or workplace and no contact with the alleged victim. If that's not sufficiently clear, there's a residence that was listed, the residence belonging to Miss Cordova. So that's what the court's referring to. Okay, so you've got your next court date, conditions of release. Any questions, Mr. Coronado, at this time as to the justice court matter?
No.
All right, so then with that, we will go to the city court matter. And then for the city court, looks like we have some phase to appear for drug paraphernalia and driving on a suspended license. Again, you have a right to remain silent as to these charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Looks like the phase to appear, it would appear to be somewhat dated. If the court is to release you on today's date, will you make sure to take care of these at the city court, Mr. Coronado?
Yes, sir. I promise I will.
Excellent. So just make sure that you do. Otherwise, the next judge who you would see, if you did not, may not be as flexible. So the court will then order that you be released on the city court matters, and we'll set a court date for you, which is going to be March 3rd, 2025, 2:30 p.m. with Judge Cranshaw at the city court. We're going to affirm any prior conditions of release. Okay, so you've got your next two court dates. Any questions before we conclude, Mr. Coronado?
No, that's all.
All right, with that, you're excused. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Hernandez.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name, please?
Veronica Marie Hernandez.
And we show you, we have a second last name for you, Hernandez Castro. Is that also your name?
Moreno, Moreno.
So you're indicating that your last name is Hernandez - Moreno?
Yes.
Okay, is that something that we can change on our end? Or do I need to amend the complaint? Yeah, so your last name is not Hernandez Castro, your true name?
No, it is Hernandez Moreno. I'm sorry. I didn't know that they had the legal last name Moreno in the system until I got arrested. And they told me that my last name is Moreno.
Okay. So that's something that we can adjust. Okay, we'll fix that on our end in our charges. But so we have a couple of matters that you're being seen for today, Ms. Hernandez Moreno. First matter is looks like a failure to appear at a South Tucson City Court for a prior theft charge. It is a misdemeanor offense. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So if the court provides you an opportunity to go to the next court date that you have at a South Tucson, will you make sure to take care of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that mean I'll be released today?
Well, that's the idea, but do you promise to appear? You've got a couple of matters today that see a lot of failures to appear. Normally, I would hold somebody at least on a nominal bond for those, but if I give you an opportunity to take care of these different matters, will you do that?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you do not take care of these matters, the next judge that you see may not be as flexible? Do you understand that as well?
Yes.
Okay. So at this time, then, as to the South Tucson matter, the court will order that you be released on your promise to appear. And then any prior release conditions are affirmed. Give me one moment to put that in the file here. And then we will go to the city court matter. Next court date in South Tucson is tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m. at South Tucson City Court. It's on South 6th, so make sure that you appear. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Gave you the wrong date. It's not tomorrow. It's February 18. So in a couple of weeks, February 18, 2025, 10 o'clock a.m. We'll affirm your prior release conditions. And then let's go to your South Tucson matter, your city court matter. City court matter is failures to appear for prescription drug possession, drug paraphernalia, being in a park after hours, criminal trespass. Again, you promise to appear at these future hearings if we set one for you there, city court?
Yes.
This time the court will order the defendant's release as to the city court matters on promise to appear. Next court date is February 26th, 2025, 9:30 a.m. And that'll be with Judge Verena over at the city court. Make sure, and the court will also affirm your prior release conditions as to those matters. And remember, failure to appear at all these future hearings could result in a warrant being issued, new initial appearance, and then perhaps the next judge who sees you may decide to hold you. So do make sure that you take care of these. Any questions at this time, Ms. Brown? Any questions? Okay, with that, you're excused. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey.
Thanks.
Mr. Myers?
Morning, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Super Ward Meyer.
Mr. Meyer, we've got a couple of matters for you today. Let me just take a quick look at your file, and then we'll get started. Okay. All right, so the first matter we're seeing you on today is for a couple of misdemeanor charges of shoplifting and possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Let me see if I can pull up. I want to try to get a little bit more information, so just one moment, Mr. Meyer. Okay, Mr. Meyer, if the court provides you an opportunity to attend future hearings in this matter in lieu of keeping you incarcerated, is that something that you can do?
Yes, sir.
Right. So, in the circumstances, the court is going to order that you be released on your promise to appear on these matters. The court is going to order as conditions of release, however, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and not to go back to the incident location where the shoplifting is alleged to have occurred. Your next court date in this matter is going to be at the the Pima County Justice Court, February 28th, 2025, 8:30 a.m. Make sure that you appear at that hearing. Failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued. And then we have also another misdemeanor matter with Justice Court. That's for failure to appear on a prior shoplifting charge. Again, we've got a couple of shoplifting matters that have now arisen. A failure to appear. Do you promise to appear at a future court date as to this matter?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that if you did not appear at this hearing, then a warrant could be issued, then you're doing this all over again? Okay, so you're going to be released then as to this failure to appear. Your next court date is the same one that we just set, February 28th, 2025, 8:30 a.m., all with Judge Cornejo at the Justice Court. So all these matters that you have pending are going to be heard on that day. Make sure that you go back. Prior release conditions of no alcohol, illegal drugs, not to go to incident. I'm sorry, we're going to get rid of no alcohol or illegal drugs because that's not relevant to this matter, but don't go back to the incident location as to the shoplifting charge. And I'll indicate that the prior release conditions are affirmed. All right, and so then any questions, sir, at this time before we conclude?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, please go to your next court dates. Your excuse, sir.
Ms. Speaks.
Yes, I was going to ask about that, actually. Yeah, let me do that. And that says to both matters? Okay. Just one moment, ma'am. We just got to do something here real quick. Okay, sorry about that. Can you go ahead and state your name, please?
Lamar Speaks.
Okay, Ms. Speaks, you're here today on a couple of misdemeanor charges of criminal damage and disorderly conduct. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Just give me one moment to review the probable cause statements. Okay, based upon the information that's available to the courts, including that the alleged victim is not objecting to your release and is okay with further contact. So in light of that, what the court's going to do is order that you be released on today's date on these charges. Does not mean that these charges are being dismissed, but you're just not being held under the charges. You do have some conditions of release, which I'll notify you about. No acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and next court date is going to be for these matters February 28th, 2025, 1:30 p.m. And that'll be at the Justice Court, Pima County Justice Court with Judge Cornejo. Make sure that you appear at future hearings. You're being released, but these charges are not going away right now. If you fail to appear at the future court date on February 28th or any future dates, a warrant could be issued for your arrest. Do you have any questions at this time?
No.
Okay, then you're excused. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good morning. State your name, please, sir.
Anthony Beltran.
Give me one moment, Mr. Beltran. It looks like we have a couple of matters you're here for today. Okay. All right. So, to correct what I said earlier, it looks like we have just a single charge of disorderly conduct, which is a misdemeanor offense. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. In review of the probable cause statement, other information available to the court, and actually let me check on one thing really quick before we do the ruling. Okay, the pretrial services input, as indicated from the stated victim, is inconsistent. So the court's not clear whether there is an objection to release. Given what's alleged in the matter, the court is going to order that you be released on today's date, Mr. Beltran, but there are going to be some conditions of release. You're not to possess any alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence. You're not to have any contact with the victim, Ms. Scott, and not to go to her residence or workplace. The residence of the victim, is that a shared residence for you? Do you live separately?
What residence is on there? 'Cause she lives with me when we were dating, but I mean, if that's the address on there, she doesn't live there.
I show a Pantano Road address. Is that an address you live with her?
No, that's her address. That's her home.
Okay. So the court's order today is that you just not go back to that residence until further order of the court.
Okay.
Next court date in this matter is going to be a arraignment that's set February 28th, 2025, 9:00 a.m. That's going to be at the city court with Judge Million. Make sure that you appear at all future hearings. Failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued for your arrest. Do you have any questions at this time?
No, thank you.
And I think you should get paper. If you're writing down the date, you should get that date on some paperwork as well, February 28th.
Yeah. No.
Okay, you should get some paperwork as well on that. So anyway, with that, if there's no questions, you are excused. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry. What's up? Right down the rules. Down the rules.
Good morning, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Matthew Draper.
Mr. Draper, the court is seeing you today on a misdemeanor charge of assault. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Just give me one moment to check something and then we'll proceed with your ruling. Okay. In light of everything that's being indicated to the court on today's date, though the victim does indicate that she does object to your release. At this time, the court is going to order that she be released on your promise to appear. But there are going to be several conditions of release, Mr. Draper. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. You're to have no contact of any kind with Miss Rosemont, and you're not to go to her residence or workplace. In the event that her residence is a shared residence for you, you are permitted to go back one time with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings. And your next court date in this matter is a pretrial hearing, February 28th, 9:30 a.m. with Judge Cranshaw over at the city court. Make sure that you appear at that hearing and future hearings. Failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued. Do you have any questions, Mr. Draper?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Will the court allow me time to find adequate housing?
Do you want to remain incarcerated until you can do that?
No.
Okay.
But I literally have no other place to go. Like literally.
Sure. So in the event that this is a shared residence, there is a housing resource center at an associated, there's a sort of a trailer type place outside of the jail that can provide assistance with housing resources on your way out of the jail. You can stop by there to see if there's any temporary housing. But the options the court has at the present time is either to release you or to hold you as incarcerated. So the court understands that it's likely to be a difficult circumstance that this is a shared residence, but the only other option I have at this time is to keep you incarcerated. If you want me to do that, I can do that, but it sounds like that's not the least restrictive placement for you, so to speak. I understand it's a difficult situation, but this is the best that I can do given the allegations in the case. So, okay, thank you, Mr. Draper. Your excuse, sir. Thank you.
Jackson.
Just one moment. We'll get to your case in just a moment. Do we still have Mr. Beltran in the room there, jail?
We can bring him right back though, Your Honor.
After this defendant, can we do that, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. We just have to give him a little bit different time. I know he wrote it down in his hand. We want to make sure he gets the right time on there, so, okay. Okay, so go ahead and state your name, please.
Christian Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, we've got you here today on, just one moment as I pull up the charges here. Looks like we have offenses for concealed carry without of a weapon, and also drug paraphernalia possession. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. In light of the information contained in the probable cause statement, including that we do have a prior history of violating release terms. There was a warrant that was issued apparently. So in light of this history as well, the court is going to order that you be held on today's date, $2,500 cash or secured bond. If as conditions of release to possess no firearms or weapons. And next court date for you, sir, is going to be February 7, 2025, 1:45 p.m. with Judge Farena at the City Court. If you do post bond, you still need to go to this hearing, so make sure you appear. Failure to appear can result in a warrant being issued. Any questions at this time?
No.
Okay, you're excused. Thank you, sir. All right, sorry, Mr. Beltran, we had to just bring you back to let you know the time that's for your court date. It's not 9:30, it's 9 o'clock. So if you want to change that 3 to a 0 on your hand there, that might be good. But we just want to make sure if you showed up at 9:30, showed up at 9:30, then you had it at 9, you might end up being late on accident. That would be my fault. So 9 o'clock a.m. on that date is your next court date, okay?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
What we needed to tell you. Thank you, sir.
There's nothing else?
Nothing else. You're excused.
Thank you.
Mr. Mitchell?
Okay, good morning, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Danny Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell, we have you today on a couple of matters. We'll take them one at a time. Looks like we have, the first matter we're here for today is a criminal damage and disorderly conduct. And it appears there's also, so it's these two misdemeanor charges. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I'm seeing something in the case file. If the jail can just confirm, is there a probation hold on Mr. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, it was sent over to jail records.
Okay. So as to the misdemeanor offenses that we're currently talking about today, the court is limited in what it can do regarding release, Mr. Mitchell, because there's a probation hold. So what the court's going to do is, court's going to set nominal bond in this matter in the amount of $250 cash or secured. Court will appoint counsel for you as to these new misdemeanor charges. That attorney is going to be Jill Dukin. Give me one moment to fill out her information here on the file. Court will order that as conditions of release, if bond is posted, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. And then review one thing really quick. I just want to see whether we have input from the victim, your spouse.
He also told me that I had a warrant, but I thought that that case was dropped, and that's why he released the probation hold last time. Was there a warrant, Mr. Court date?
Sure.
Reach out.
Something really quick. That might be maybe in the city court matter that we're going to do next. But let me just take a quicker or look at your file. Okay, and I think we saw your wife a little bit earlier for her own matter. As to these current misdemeanor charges, I think we might talk about that warrant issue in just a little bit, but there's currently a probation hold. I'm going to put nominal bond on this one so you get time credit as to these misdemeanor charges. You do have appointed counsel. Next court date as to these matters specifically is going to be February 28th, 2025. And that's going to be at 10:30 a.m. at the Justice Court with Judge Cornejo for an arraignment. Make sure that you appear at that hearing. Failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued. Let's go ahead and move on to the other matters that we have for you today, and that might help clarify things. So we've got, additionally, we have it looks like there was a warrant that was issued on January 21st, 2025 by Judge Millian from the city courts. I think that's what you're referring to.
Yes. I was under the impression that that got dropped, and that's why they reinstated my probation and let me out of jail last time.
Okay. I don't. I'm not exactly sure why. One moment. So it appears that, so there was an order that was, there was a hearing that was to occur, a pretrial hearing with Judge Millian on the 21st. And then you did not appear at that hearing, and that was why. It looks like there was an initial appearance back on December 18, 2024, setting the January 21st date. You were released on promise to appear, and then it appears that you were not present on January 21st last week, and that's why this was issued. So what we have to do then is determine what to do about. So at this particular point, the probation hold that I'm being informed of, I don't know that it's necessarily related to either of these two offenses that we're currently here on. Does the jail have that information, what that hold is, what case number that hold is for?
Your Honor, APO is indicating that they're citing a CR 2020-1082-001. Appears to be out of the County Superior Court.
Okay, so that's a completely different thing. Okay. And so with that, then it appears then Mr. Mitchell, what we'll have to do then is, because that hold is in place and I can't do anything about that at the present time, the court is just going to order that we'll set nominal bond in this matter, $100 cash or secured. In the city court matter, court will appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. They can also probably, or Ms. Gookin, one of the two, the public defender or Ms. Gookin, can provide you some additional clarity as to the matters.
So my holding for the case that I just got.
You're being held today on the new case, not showing up for the other case, and you've got this probation hold out of the Superior Court case. So you have total bond right now. You have total bond right now, $250 in the misdemeanor matter, $100 in the city court matter. If you post those two bonds, if there's not a probation hold anymore in the CR case, the Superior Court case in 2020, then you'll be released. If you're, if that hold is still there, even if you post the bond, you won't be released. So does that make more sense?
Yes, so I got to talk to probation, basically.
Yeah, and you have a couple of attorneys that are going to be appointed to represent you. They can help clarify as well. So your next court date in city court, it's February 5th, 2025, 1:30. And so that'll be with Judge Millian at the city court. And if you're still incarcerated at that time, the jail will make arrangements for you to appear, okay?
Okay.
All right, so that should sort it out for today. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. You're excused.
Thank you.
Okay, so I had this one for a different, in this guy's gentleman's file. Okay, sorry, I'll do that. Okay, that's why I was a little bit confused about the matters. Just one moment, sir. We're just getting something sorted out here with the files. Is this yours? Thanks. Okay. When you're ready, sir, can you go ahead and state your name, please?
Yeah, hold on. Well, she said when I'm ready.
Okay. And are you Mr. Castro, sir?
Yes, sir.
For purposes of the record, can you state your full name?
Philip Christopher Castro.
Okay, Mr. Castro, we have you here today on a couple of felony matters, burglary in the second degree and aggravated harassment. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have a right to assistance of counsel. There is counsel seated next to you to assist you today. State is recommending bond be set in the amount of $7,500 plus release to pretrial services if bond is posted. Any additional record, Mr. Posted?
Your Honor, he's a 6 out of 6, history of revocation of probation, and he broke into his ex's home, and when the police arrived, the victim was still screaming at him, telling him to get out. The state believes he is a continual risk to the victim. He's got prior felonies, $7,500.
And Ms. Adams.
Yes, Your Honor, we're asking, Mr. Castro has no failures to appear in the last 2 years. He's a lifelong resident of Tucson. So we're asking for release to pretrial services, or if you're not inclined, then a nominal bond.
At this time, the court will order setting bond in the amount of $7,500 cash and secured with release to pretrial services if bond is posted. Court is concerned about the pattern of conduct evident to the court. Conditions of release: no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial services, and no contact with the alleged victim. Counsel is appointed the Pima County Public Defender's Office. Next hearing for Mr. Castro, February 10, 2025, 1:30 p.m. And Mr. Castro, just make sure you go to future hearings. Failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued.
This is on YouTube now? Your Honor, I don't have any money. I've been obeying the laws. I've been doing what I needed to do here. What happened was not I didn't get a chance to show or to, I didn't get a chance to be there. It's not real what's happening there.
Sorry, I suggest you speak to your public defender, and they may be able to get bond reduced for you in due course. At this time, you are excused. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, lady.
Your Honor, we waive reading on these charges, please.
Okay. So in that case, then, sir, can you state your name?
Rob Jaramillo.
Mr. Jaramillo, you're being seen today on an initial appearance. Your provisional defense counsel today is waiving a reading of the charges, and so we're just going to go ahead and proceed on to but you are facing 2 felony offenses on today's date. There is bond recommended in the amount of $2,500 plus release to pretrial services. Mr. Poston, any additional record?
One moment, Your Honor.
While we're waiting on that, can the jail confirm, do we have any holds on Mr. Jaramillo?
Not yet, Your Honor.
Thanks.
Your Honor, I show he's being held on 2 other court cases, which is the only reason the state's only asking for $2,500.
Okay. But the jail, you've not been able to verify a hold right now?
No, Judge, we have not received a hold from probation. He's only booked on these 2 charges.
Okay. And then, Mr. Poston, do you have anything else you want to say about that before any of you make record on the
Yes, Your Honor.
But
Yes, Your Honor. I'll see if PTS has got pretrial services gotten their file back. Looks like their site's up and running again. Whether or not I'll get all the way through to the intro I need is another question. One moment.
when I was looking at it earlier before it crashed, I didn't see any hold noted on the pre-trial service.
Your Honor, we're just looking for the $2,500.
Okay. And then Ms. Adams?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Jaramillo doesn't have any failures to appear in the last 2 years. He's lived in Tucson for 32 years. He's full-time employed. He has a place to stay. His mother offered to let him live with her. So we're asking for release to pretrial services.
And looking at the case history since the offense, We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 6 different violations for failure to comply with the requirements that are at issue. At this time, the court is going to order bond be set in the amount of $1,500 cash or secured with release to pretrial services if bond is posted. Conditions of release include no alcohol or illegal drugs, monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. Pima County Public Defender's Office is appointed, and upon release, whenever that would occur, that the defendant is ordered to report to the Pima County Sheriff's Department's identification unit as set forth in the order within 2 business days of release. Next hearing date for the defendant is going to be February 10, 2025, 1:30 p.m. at the Justice Court for preliminary hearing. Mr. Jaramillo, make sure you go to future hearings in this matter. Failure to appear can result in a warrant being issued. Any questions at this time? Okay, then you're excused. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, in this one coming up, the individual will not be Step Smart eligible.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Joseph John Martinez.
Mr. Martinez, we have you here today on a couple of charges. We have a misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass, and then we have a felony offense of possession of dangerous drugs. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have a right to assistance of counsel as to the felony charge, and there is counsel seated next to you to assist you. The state is recommending that bond be set in the amount of $2,500 plus release to pretrial services if bond is posted. Any additional record, Mr. Poston?
Again, Your Honor, this person is not eligible for Step Smart because there's a non-drug charge as well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Poston. Ms. Adams, any record?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking for release of pretrial services. He doesn't have any prior felony convictions, and the non-drug offense is a misdemeanor.
Just reviewing the probable cause statement more closely. Just one moment.
Judge, just while you're looking at this, counsel noted that is a misto charge for the trespass. So my initial instinct was correct. This person is Step Smart eligible.
Okay. So in that case, Mr. Martinez, there's a program called the STEP program, which is a type of diversion program at the Superior Court. And for qualifying drug offenses, such as the one that you have, you can avail yourself of this diversion program. And if you complete all the requirements, then the drug offense will not be formally charged. Is that something you're interested in?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then does the defendant waive time then as to setting a preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So the court will go ahead and do it this time. Mr. Martinez, I'm a little concerned about the repeated presence at the Circle K location. The court's going to give you an opportunity here not to commit any additional trespass in this matter. So at this time, the court is going to order that you be released to third-party supervision of pretrials include no alcohol or illegal drugs, follow monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. And defendants often fail to abide by that. So please be unique in that regard and check in with pretrial services, follow their recommendations. Failure to do that would be a violation of the orders. You are directed not to go to the incident location, the Circle K on Nogales Highway that we've been talking about. The Pima County Legal Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. You will have what's called the SMART hearing, which is that steps diversion hearing. Your first hearing will be February 5th, 2025, 9:00 a.m. And that's at Superior Court, Pima County Superior Court. Your next court date then for these charges then at Justice Court, if needed, is going to be March 17, 2025, 1:30 p.m. since time is waived as to the preliminary hearing. A lot of information we just went over. Any questions, Mr. Martinez? Okay, with that, then you've got your hearings, you've got your conditions, you are excused. Thank you, sir. Let me take a look. Oh, yeah. That should be fixed now. Good morning, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he needs an interpreter, yeah.
Do we have an interpreter on the line?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Buenos días, señor. ¿Cuál es?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Buenos días, señor. ¿Cuál es su nombre? Agustín Lugo.
And can the jail confirm whether there's a hold on Mr. Lugo?
Yes,
Le preguntan al personal. Le pregunta el juez al personal de la cárcel que si tiene una orden de detención y el personal de la cárcel respondió que sí, tiene una orden de retención por el Departamento de Inmigración y Aduanas.
And sir, can you confirm that your last name is Lugo-Puerta?
Señor, ¿puede usted confirmar que su nombre, su apellido es Lugo-Puerta?
Sí, Lugo Puerta.
Yes, Lugo Puerta.
Mr. Lugo-Puerta, you're being seen today on felony charges of possession of a narcotic drug and 2 counts of possession of a narcotic drug for sale.
Señor Lugo Puerta, lo estamos viendo el día de esta mañana por 2 felonías. Uno es de posesión de una droga narcótica y luego 2 cargos de posesión de una droga narcótica destinada para venta.
You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Tiene el derecho a guardar silencio. Todo lo que usted diga se puede usar en su contra.
You do have a right to assistance of counsel, and there is an attorney seated next to you to assist you.
Tiene el derecho a tener la ayuda de un abogado y tiene un abogado que está presente ahí enseguida de usted para ayudarle.
The state requests bond be set in the amount of $50,000 with release to pretrial services if bond is posted.
La fiscalía está solicitando una fianza de $50,000. Si usted paga la fianza, después sale en libertad, pero está bajo la vigilancia del Departamento de Libertad previo al juicio.
And does the state have any additional recommendations?
Le pregunta a la fiscalía si tiene una recomendación adicional.
Your Honor, the state just needs to impress upon the court the fact that this was a drug bust and the defendants were found with over 5 kilos of cocaine and over just shy of 2.5 kilos of heroin. This is huge. $50,000.
Su señoría, lo que la fiscalía quiere asegurarse que usted comprenda es que los hechos de este caso, que el demandado fue arrestado bajo una redada de drogas y el acusado o los acusados los encontraron con más de 5 kilos de cocaína. Además, tenían un poquito más de casi 2.5 kilos, and I'm sorry, the 2.5 kilos of heroin, is that the drug?
Correct.
Okay, casi más de 2.5 kilos de heroína y la fiscalía está solicitando una fianza de $50,000.
Ms. Adams, any records?
Yes, Your Honor.
Adams, ¿te quiere dar un récord?
Yes, Your Honor. Due to the ICE hold, we are asking for a nominal bond. Mr. Lugo Puerta has no prior convictions, and this is not a violent offense.
Sí, su señoría. Con respecto a ya que tiene una orden de represión del Departamento de Inmigración y Aduanas, estamos solicitando una fianza nominal. El señor Lugo Puerta no tiene ninguna condena previa por ninguna felonía y esto no fue nada delito peligroso.
Judge, state would add that this is by all accounts not just drug sales but drug trafficking. By definition, that's a violent thing.
Su señoría, la fiscalía quiere agregar que esto no es simplemente una venta de drogas, que por tomando todo esto en cuenta es el tráfico de drogas y tráfico de drogas se considera un delito violento.
Based upon all the information before the court will order setting bond in the amount of $25,000 cash is secured.
Basada en toda la información que le presentaron al juez el día de hoy, el juez ordena una fianza de $25,000 en efectivo o garantizado.
The conditions of release and also release to pretrial services if bond is posted.
Y además, las condiciones de libertad, si usted paga la fianza, entonces va a estar bajo la supervisión de la agencia previos al juicio.
Conditions of release include no alcohol or illegal drugs and to follow monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services.
Las condiciones de libertad es que no puede consumir ninguna bebida alcohólica ni ninguna droga ilícita y tiene que estar bajo monitoreo y tratamiento como lo ordene la agencia previa al juicio.
The Pima County Legal Defender's Office is appointed to represent the defendant.
Se nombra a la oficina del defensor público del condado de Pima para que represente al acusado.
And the next hearing for the defendant is a preliminary hearing, February 10, 2025, 1:30 p.m.
Y la próxima audiencia para el acusado es una audiencia preliminar el 10 de febrero 2025 a la 1:30 de la tarde.
And this is at the Pima County Justice Court.
Y esto va a ser en el Tribunal de Justicia del Condado de Pima.
Mr. Lugo Puerta, you should talk to your attorney from the Legal Defender's Office about the consequences of posting bond.
Señor Lugo Puerta, debe usted de hablar con su abogado de la oficina del defensor público con respecto a las consecuencias si usted paga la fianza.
Given that you have a federal immigration hold on your person.
Ya que usted tiene una orden de retención del Departamento de Inmigración, el gobierno federal.
And do you have any questions before we conclude?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta antes de terminar?
No.
No.
Then
No.
you are excused. Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor. Ya se puede retirar.
Sir, can you state your name, please?
Señor, ¿nos puede decir su nombre en voz alta, por favor?
José Daniel Lugo Puerta.
José Daniel Lugo Puerta.
Mr. Lugo Puerta, you're being seen today on felony charges of possession of a narcotic drug and 2 counts of possession of a narcotic drug for sale.
Señor Lugo Puerta, lo estamos viendo aquí el día de hoy por 2 felonías, una posesión de una droga narcótica y 2 cargos de una posesión de drogas narcóticas destinadas para venta.
You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Tiene derecho a guardar silencio, todo lo que usted diga se puede usar en su contra.
You have the right to assistance of counsel for these charges, and there is an attorney seated next to you.
Tiene el derecho a tener la ayuda de un abogado con respecto a estos cargos y tiene un abogado que está sentado enseguida de usted para ayudarle.
The state recommends bond be set in the amount of $50,000 plus release to pretrial services.
La Fiscalía está solicitando una fianza de $50,000 más que esté bajo la supervisión de la agencia previos al juicio si paga la fianza.
Does the state have any additional records?
Le pregunta a la Fiscalía si quiere dar un récord adicional.
Your Honor, this is again part of the persons with the with the large amounts of cocaine and heroin, $50,000.
Su señoría, esta parte de lo mismo de las personas con una gran cantidad de 50,000, lo siento, gran cantidad de drogas, de cocaína y heroína, solicitamos $50,000.
And does the defense have any record they wish to make?
Le pregunta a la defensa si quiere dar un récord que conste en actas.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lugo Puerta doesn't have any priors at all. And so due to the ICE hold, we're also asking for nominal bond in this case.
Sí, señoría. El acusado en este caso, señor Lugo Puerta, no tiene ningún antecedente para nada, dado que tiene que una orden de retención por el Departamento de Inmigración y Aduanas, solicitamos una fianza mínima.
At this time, the court will set bond in the amount of $25,000 cash or secured with release pretrial services if bond is posted.
En este momento, el juez va a fijar una fianza de $25,000 en efectivo o garantizada, y si sale en libertad, va a estar bajo la supervisión del Departamento previo a juicio.
Conditions of release if bond is posted include no alcohol or illegal drugs and follow monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial services.
Las condiciones de libertad es que no puede consumir ni tener ninguna bebida alcohólica ni drogas ilícitas y tener monitoreo y tratamiento como ordena la agencia previos al juicio.
Counsel is appointed for the defendant, who will be Paul Gatone.
Se nombra un abogado para defender al acusado y se llama Paul Gatón.
And the next court date for the defendant is February 10th, 2025, 1:30 p.m. at Justice Court.
Y la próxima audiencia en la corte para el acusado es el 10 de febrero 2025 a las 1:30 en el Tribunal de Justicia.
Mr. Lugo Puerta, make sure you appear at future hearings or a warrant could be issued for your arrest.
Señor Lugo Puerta, asegúrese de presentarse en sus próximas audiencias o se va a emitir una orden por su arresto.
And I suggest that you also speak to your attorney about the consequences of posting bond if given that there's a federal immigration hold.
Señor, también le sugiero que hable con su abogado en caso que pague su fianza porque tiene una orden de detención del Departamento de Inmigración que es del gobierno federal.
Do you have any questions at this time?
En este momento, ¿tiene alguna pregunta?
No, está bien.
No, it's fine.
Okay, you are excused. Thank you, sir.
Muy bien, señor, gracias, ya se puede retirar.
El payaso Queremos el coordinador.
Gracias.
Sir, please state your name.
Señor, por favor, diga su nombre.
Leonel Arturo Payán Valenzuela.
Leonel Arturo Payán Valenzuela.
Mr. Payan Valenzuela, excuse me, you are charged today with a couple of different matters. The first matter is as follows.
Señor Payán Valencia, lo siento, Valenzuela, usted lo acusan de una serie de diferentes cosas. Primeramente se trata de...
Your newest charges are felony offenses for possession of a narcotic drug, possession of a narcotic drug for sale, and transport for sale.
Bueno, los cargos más recientes son una felonía por posesión de una droga ilícita, una otra es posesión por una droga ilícita destinada para venta y otra es una posesión de drogas, de tráfico de drogas.
You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Tiene el derecho a guardar silencio, todo lo que usted diga se puede usar en su contra.
You have the right to assistance of an attorney, and there is an attorney seated next to you.
La ayuda de un abogado y hay un abogado que está sentado enseguida de usted para ayudarle.
The state recommends bond be set for this matter $75,000 with release to pretrial services.
La fiscalía solicita una fianza en este caso por $75,000 y además que esté bajo la agencia de supervisión previas al juicio si sale en libertad.
And can the jail please confirm if there is an ICE hold on the defendant?
Your Honor, this is the jail.
Are you going to the interpreter was not able to hear?
Can you repeat that?
Yes, Your Honor, this is the jail. There is an immigration detainer.
Thank you. El juez le preguntó al personal de la cárcel que checara si usted tiene una orden de detención por el caso de inmigración, y el personal de la cárcel dijo que sí, de hecho sí tiene una orden de detención del Departamento de Inmigración y Aduanas.
Any additional record for the state?
Your Honor, unless I'm mistaken here, he's also held on CR 2022-3716. And overall, on both of these cases, we're looking at with the state's requesting $75,000 because this is slightly more cocaine, same amount of heroin, a great amount of cash, which screams trafficking in this quantity, and 302 rounds of ammunition. Apparently, they didn't find the weapon. But ICE hold notwithstanding, this is a flight risk. This is somebody who's trafficking.
One moment, please. Le pregunté el juez a la fiscalía. La fiscalía quiere dejar algo que conste en actas, quiere hacer un récord, y la fiscalía indica que sí, que si no se equivoca el señor, dice que también tiene otro caso en el cual está detenido, y este caso es CR 2022-3716, y que usted está pidiendo una fianza de la fiscalía de $75,000 por ambos causas. Se lo encontraron con una gran cantidad de cocaína y de heroína y cantidad en efectivo, que esto indica que tiene que ver con el tráfico, y además encontraron 302 municiones, y no encontraron armas, pero encontraron municiones, y aparte de que tiene la orden de retención de inmigración, usted está a riesgo de darse la fuga y acaso también porque tiene que ver con el tráfico de drogas.
Any record for the defense?
Ahora le pregunto a la defensa si quiere dar algún récord para que consten actas.
Yes, Your Honor. If I'm not mistaken, I think the 2022 matter, there was no conviction on that. He hadn't been convicted of the offense. And this, because there is an ICE hold, we are asking for a nominal bond.
Your Honor, he's on release.
One moment, please. One moment, please. Thank you. Sí, su señoría. Si no me equivoco, el caso del 2022 todavía no ha sido condenado en este caso. No ha recibido ninguna condena en este caso, y a causa de que el hecho de que tiene una orden de retención del Departamento de Inmigración y Aduanas, entonces yo solicito que sea una fianza mínima.
And the court does understand that there was a prior release for the 2022 matter, and a warrant was issued for that failure to appear.
Y el juez entiende de que anteriormente lo han dejado en libertad en el caso del 2022 y que por falta de comparecer en la corte se emitió una orden por su arresto.
So the court will issue two rulings as to the new charges and also as to the warrant, and I'll issue the ruling as to the new charges now.
Entonces el juez va a emitir dos fallos con respecto a los nuevos cargos y con respecto al cargo donde tiene la orden de arresto. Va a primero dictaminar su fallo con respecto a los nuevos cargos.
As to the new felony charges, the court orders bond set in the amount of $50,000. Cash is secured with release to pretrial services if bond is posted.
Con respecto a los nuevos cargos de felonía, el juez está emitiendo una fianza por la cantidad de $50,000 en efectivo o garantizado, y que esté bajo la supervisión de la agencia previo al juicio si paga la fianza.
And conditions of release would be no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, and to follow monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services.
Las condiciones de libertad es que no puede consumir ni tener ninguna bebida alcohólica, no puede consumir ni tener una droga ilícita, no puede tener ni poseer ningún tipo de arma de fuego o armas, y debe de seguir las órdenes del departamento previo al juicio con respecto a monitoreo y tratamiento.
And the Pima County Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent the defendant.
Y se nombra a la oficina del defensor público para que represente al acusado.
Next hearing on these charges, February 10, 2025, 1:30 p.m. at the Justice Court.
La próxima audiencia en la corte para este acusado es el 10 de febrero 2025 a la 1:30 de la tarde en el Tribunal de la Justicia del Condado de Pima.
And the defendant is admonished that failure to appear at this preliminary hearing or at future hearings could result in a warrant being issued for his arrest.
y se le advierte al acusado que el no comparecer ante esta audiencia preliminar o cualquier otra audiencia que se fije puede resultar una orden por su arresto.
As to the pending warrant from the CR 2022 matter,
Con respecto a la orden pendiente, la orden de arresto en el caso 2022,
at this time, the court orders setting bond in the amount of $10,000 cash or secured.
en este momento el juez ordena fijar una fianza de $10,000 en efectivo garantizado
And that is also with release to pretrial services if bond is posted.
y también está bajo la supervisión de la agencia previos al juicio si es que usted paga la fianza.
The conditions of release will also be no alcohol or illegal drugs. Monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial services, and prior release conditions are affirmed.
También las condiciones de libertad es que no puede tener ni consumir ninguna bebida alcohólica o tener ni consumir ninguna droga ilícita, monitoreo y tratamiento como lo ordene la agencia previos al juicio y se afirman las órdenes previas.
Next court date for that matter is February 5th, 2025, 1:30 for an arraignment at Superior Court.
La próxima audiencia en la corte para ese caso es el 5 de febrero 2025 a la 1:30 de la tarde en el Tribunal Superior para su lectura de cargos.
And again, failure to appear can result in a warrant being issued for the defendant's arrest.
De nuevo, el no comparecer en la corte puede resultar en una orden de arresto del acusado.
And then Mr. Payan Valenzuela, just I would suggest that you talk to your appointed attorney, who's the Pima County Public Defender's Office, about the consequences of posting bond.
Y de nuevo, señor Payan Valenzuela, le sugiero que usted se ponga en contacto y hable con su abogado, que es un defensor público, con respecto a las condiciones si usted paga su fianza.
And that is based upon a federal immigration hold being placed on you at this time.
Ya que en este momento usted tiene una orden de detención del Departamento de Inmigración y Aduanas, que es del gobierno federal.
Do you have any questions, sir, at this time?
En este momento, señor, ¿tiene alguna pregunta?
No.
No.
Okay, then you're excused. Thank you, sir.
Muy bien, señor, ya terminamos, ya se puede retirar. Gracias.
¿Ya un retiro?
Yeah.
And I believe with the jail, is that our last Spanish-speaking defendant?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
With that, the interpreter is excused. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna. Interpreter disconnecting.
Okay, good morning, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Francisco Javier Alvarez Jr.
Mr. Alvarez, we're seeing you today on, looks like a couple of matters. We'll take them one at a time. First matter we're seeing you on today is a updated charge of criminal damage, which is a felony, a classified felony. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have a right to assistance of counsel. There is counsel seated next to you to assist you. State is recommending that you be released to third-party supervision of pretrial services. Any updates, Mr. Poston?
No, Your Honor.
And then any objection, Ms. Adams, to the recommendation?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So at this point then, Mr. Alvarez, the court's going to follow the state's recommendation, order that you be released to the third-party supervision of pretrial services. The court is going to order, however, that you do not have any contact with any alleged victims and not go back to the incident location. Court will order appointing the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And your preliminary hearing, which is your next hearing, is set February 18, 2025, 1:30 p.m. These preliminary hearings sometimes change dates, so keep in contact with your public defender's office to be apprised of the latest date for that. And then we're going to go ahead and go to your next matter, which is you were picked up also on a warrant issued out of Nogales Justice Court for prior failure to appear in a criminal damage issue. If the court provides you an opportunity to resolve these charges in Nogales at the Justice Court, will you be able to do that?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
You have a court date that would be set February 10, 2025, 8:30 a.m. At the Nogales Justice Court. Can you make it to that date, and will you pledge to attend that court date?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll be there.
In that case, what the court will do is the court will order that you be released on your promise to appear. Let me just see really quick if these are, so I think these are misdemeanor offenses, so I don't think I need to appoint counsel. Yeah. Okay. So the court will order releasing you on a promise to appear. Prior release conditions out of the Nogales court are affirmed. And you are to order to attend the case management hearing February 10, 2025, 8:30 a.m. at Nogales Justice Court in Nogales. Failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued. The court will, if there's any warrant that's still active as to that, the court will quash the warrant on today's date. Any additional records, sir, at this time?
Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And then any questions, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, so make sure you go to your next court dates and you are excused. Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Jose Alfredo Burrola.
Mr. Barola, you're here today on a few felony matters: burglary in the third degree, theft, and trafficking and stolen property. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have a right to assistance of counsel. There is an attorney seated next to you to assist you today. State is recommending bond be set in the amount of $2,500 plus release to pretrial services if bond is posted. And then any additional record, Mr. Poston.
No, Judge.
And Ms. Adams, any additional record?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Burrola doesn't have any failures to appear in the last 2 years. He's lived in Tucson for the last 8 years. And this is a property crime. We're asking for release to pretrial services.
All right, let me just take a look at one thing really quick. Okay, it looks like the NCA and FTA are 3 and 3 respectively. I don't see any prior theft crimes. Under the circumstances, the court will order releasing the defendant to third-party supervision of pretrial services. There will be some conditions of release, follow monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. No contact with the alleged victims. Do not go to the incident location. And Pima County Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you in this matter. Next court date for you, Mr. Barola, will be February 18, 2025, 1:30 p.m. Make sure that you go to any future hearings. Failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued. Because you're being released, and this is a preliminary hearing, that is your next hearing. These dates sometimes change. Keep in contact with your attorney to get the most updated court dates. And because you are obligated to make sure you appear at future dates. Any questions, sir, at this time?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you're excused. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Yeah, Zachary Allen Carney.
Mr. Carney, we have you here today on, looks like it's a felony charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have a right to remain against you. You do have a right to assistance of counsel, and there is an attorney seated next to you to assist you. It appears that we have a matter out of Justice Court, and then we also have a city court matter that we need to address next. But as to the Justice Court matter, the state is recommending, just one moment, that she be released to the third-party supervision of pretrial services. Additionally, that what's called a smart court hearing be set for you. Is that still the state's recommendation, Mr. Poston? Yes. All right. And so then Mr. Carney, you have a opportunity to participate in a program called STEPS, which is a diversion type program at the Superior Court in order to avoid the possession charge being formally charged against you. If you comply with all the requirements, you would not be formally charged with this felony offense. Is that a program that you want to avail yourself of today?
Yeah, I'll do the STEPS program.
And then does the defense waive time as to preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so the court then will order as follows. The court orders releasing the defendant to the third-party supervision of pretrial services. Court further orders as conditions of release, no alcohol or illegal drugs, follow monitoring or treatment. As directed by pretrial services, the Pima County Public Defender's Office is appointed and time is waived as to the preliminary hearing. Smart Court hearing is set February 5th, 2025, 9 o'clock a.m. at the Superior Court. So that's next week at the Superior Court, 9 o'clock a.m. Additionally, preliminary hearing is moved out to March 17, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. at the Pima County Justice Court. Make sure that you appear at the Smart Court hearing and the future hearings in these cases. In this case, failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued. Okay, Mr. Carney?
Okay.
We have one more matter to see you on today, and that will be the city court matter. My understanding is I'm going to double check right now. That is going to be do you guys have Kleenex up there? A failure to appear. Okay. Sorry, your court file attacked me a little bit, Mr. Carney, so I'm not going to assess an assault charge on it. But we have some failures to appear as to criminal trespass. We also looks like we have an updated criminal trespass charge. And let me just take a quick look at the probable cause statement as well. And actually, let me correct that. It looks like just failure to appear on some prior trespass charges from 2024 and 2025. So, Mr. Carney, we're going to be releasing you as to the other matter. If we release you as to these matters today, the trespass matters, do you pledge to the court to get to city court, make sure you resolve these hearings in a timely manner?
Yeah.
And do you understand that if you did not appear, that you'd be rearrested? If a warrant be issued, you could be rearrested, and then we're doing this process all over again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this time the court will order then releasing the defendant to the releasing the defendant on promise to appear on today's date. Try not to get any blood here on the file. And then court will affirm prior release conditions. Just give me one moment. Okay, next court date is going to be for the city court, and this is the one that's really important for you to address. Otherwise, the warrant could be issued. That will be on March 3rd, 2025, 9 o'clock a.m. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Court will we'll go ahead and order nonetheless, even though it's probably part of the release conditions, not to go to the incident location related to these offenses. Okay, any questions, Mr. Carney, at this time?
No.
Okay, you're all set for today. Please go to your next court dates and you're excused.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Yes, my name is Joe Enrico Aguilar.
Mr. Castro, the court is seeing you today on several matters. We're going to take them one at a time. Court is, first matter we're going to talk about today is a felony charge of possession of a dangerous drug. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have a right to assistance of counsel. There's counsel seated next to you. To assist you, state is recommending bond be set in the amount of $2,500 with release to pretrial services. It appears that the state's also recommending a smart court hearing be set. Is that still accurate, Mr. Poston?
It is, Your Honor. The fact that it's not straight PTS with a smart referral is the fact that he's a 6 out of 6 on both scales.
Right. Ms. Adams, any record that you want to make?
Yes, Your Honor. Like the state recommended, he is steps eligible. We are asking for release from pretrial services. All the previous failure to appear were in misdemeanors or in a city court, and or they were related to misdemeanors, I should say. So we're asking for another opportunity on pretrial services.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Castro, in light of everything that's before the court's going to give you an opportunity to make good on your ability to appear at future proceedings without holding you on bond. The court is going to order releasing you to the third-party supervision of pretrial services. Does the state waive time as to a smart court hearing?
That would be up to the defense of the state.
My mistake. Does the defense waive time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Castro, just to verify with you, the state is recommending that you be able to participate in a program called STEPS, which is a diversion type program for the charges, the drug charge. If you're able to comply with all requirements, the drug charge would not be formally charged against you. Is that something you want to avail yourself of?
Absolutely.
So the state has, with I think sufficient basis, articulated that you should be held without bond because you have a failure to appear history and several prior offenses. So the court's going to give you a chance here to try to appear on these matters. It's crucially important that you appear at the smart court hearing and at the next hearings that we're going to set. I'm going to inform you about all of the other matters that we have with you today. So you need to make sure you go to all court dates. If you don't take advantage of this opportunity to appear at these future dates, then warrants can be issued, and then the next judge who sees your case may not be as flexible. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, sir.
Right. So just for this matter, smart court hearing set February 5th, 2025, 9 o'clock a.m. Preliminary hearing is set March 17, 2025, 1:30 p.m. If not already indicated, the defendant is being released to the third-party supervision of pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Follow monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. Pima County Public Defender's Office is appointed. And so then we will go to the next case. Next case is failure to appear as to criminal trespass matter for this a misdemeanor offense. Court is going to order releasing the defendant on promise to appear. Arraignment is going to be February 28th, 2025, 8:30 a.m. at the Justice Court for this failure to appear for the prior trespassing charge. And the court will affirm prior release conditions. Next matter is a failure to appear as criminal trespass at Justice Court. Court, again, is going to release on promise to appear. And the same hearing is set with Judge Cornejo at the Justice Court, February 28th, 2025, 8:30 a.m. And prior release conditions are affirmed. We have, again, for the third time, case for failure to appear criminal trespass. Court is ordering releasing the defendant on promise to appear. Same court date, February 28th at 8:30 a.m. And that's at the Justice Court. Prior release conditions are affirmed. Let me check something really quick before we wrap up the last one. Can you just double check that I put 8:30 on all those hearings? Yeah, okay, thanks. I'm pretty sure I did, but okay. Last case we have today is finally
Move that PJ.
Yeah, you can put that in all of them. Yeah, that's fine. Or the ones that it applies to. And just one moment, I'm looking at one more thing on your file here. And it looks like we have one more additional justice court case, and I think we also have city court as well. So we're not quite done yet. And that is, so on these other matters, looks like some misdemeanor matters for drug possession and trespass. Not clear if these are encapsulated with other case numbers, but we're just going to order releasing and a same court date arraignment, February 28th, 8:30 a.m. with Judge Cornejo at the Justice Court. Any prior release conditions are affirmed. Just in case, because I'm not clear as to whether this is failure to appear, I am going to put do not go to the incident location and no drugs or alcohol. And then lastly, we have a city court case. I suspect this is probably going to be failure to appear, and indeed it is. Criminal trespass and drug paraphernalia. So I just want to reiterate, Mr. Castro, a standing number of failures to appear. I'm giving you a chance here. Do make sure that I'm not a fool on this. Please go to your next court dates. Under the circumstances, court is going to order releasing you on the city court matter. On your promise to appear, that court date at city court. So you have a number of hearings set all at the same time on February 28th. Now you have an additional court date, March 3rd, 2025, 9:30 a.m. And that is at the city court with Judge Hale. Prior release conditions are affirmed. And any questions, Mr. Castro, at this time?
No, sir.
Okay, with that then, do make sure you go to future court dates and you are excused. Okay, can you state your name, please, sir?
Max Diaz.
Mr. Diaz, we have you here on a number of matters today. We'll go ahead and take them one at a time. The most recent matter we're here for today are 2 felony offenses of aggravated shoplifting and possession of a narcotic drug. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have a right to assistance of counsel, and there is counsel seated next to you to assist you. The state is recommending, as to the felony matters, that bond be set in the amount of $7,500 plus release to pretrial services. Any additional record, Mr. Poston?
Your Honor, he's 6 out of 6 and has been on quite the theft run as of late. There's no indication that releasing to PTS without a substantial bond is going to do anything in terms of stopping him from continuing to steal. State submits.
Any additional record, Ms. Adams?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Diaz, he's a lifelong resident of Tucson. He is employed, and it appears as though that the most of the failures to appear are related to the misdemeanor matters. He doesn't have any serious challenges, so we're asking for one more chance on pretrial services.
Okay, I think as opposed to the last case that we had with similar charges, I mean, there are a substantially higher number of failures to appear. Still 6 out of 6. The underlying felony charges are more severe. Based on all the circumstances, the court is going to set bond in the amount of $2,500 cash or secured with release to pretrial services. A bond is posted. as conditions of release, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial services, directed not to go to the incident locations. Pima County Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent the defendant. Next court date is to the felony charges, February 10, 2025, 1:30 p.m. And that's at the Justice Court. And then we're going to go ahead. There's, I think, 3 or 4 other jurisdictions we have to hear from, including City Court as well. So the next case we're going to hear at this time is for Marana City Court. Given that the defendant's being held in this matter on the felony charges, court will, for the Marana City Court charge, failure to appear on drug paraphernalia, court will set bond in the amount of $100, cash is secured. Janet Altschuler is appointed to represent the defendant. Case management conference is set today at 12 o'clock p.m. in about an hour. For the drug paraphernalia charge, there should be sufficient time to have the defendant made available for that hearing virtually at least. And any prior release conditions are affirmed. As to the next matter, which is a failure to appear for a theft charge out of Oro Valley City Court. For similar reasons, court will set bond, $100, cash is secured. Richard Glenn is appointed as counsel for the defendant. Case is set for a case management conference, February 5th, 2025, 10:30 a.m. And that's at the Oro Valley City Court. So that's February 5th, 2025, 10:30 a.m. at Oro Valley City Court. And any prior release conditions are affirmed. As to the another failure to appear for Justice Court, Pima County Justice Court, court will set bond, $100, cash is secured. Will indicate that this bond is going to be concurrent with the other Justice Court case matter ending in 0322. Any prior release conditions are affirmed. Jill Gukin is appointed to represent the defendant in this matter. And next court date is going to be January 30th, 2025, 1 o'clock p.m. And that's going to be with Judge Foster at the Justice Court. And any prior release conditions are affirmed as stated. Finally, we have another failure to appear for shoplifting at a Justice Court. Again, bond set, $100, cash is secured. That is concurrent with the case ending in 3739. Joe Gukin also appointed to represent on this other matter as well. Case management conference set at the same time as the other Justice Court matter, January 30th, 2025, 1 o'clock p.m. And that's at the Justice Court. Okay, a lot of dates, a lot of information. Any questions, sir, at this time?
No.
Okay, you're excused. Thank you, sir.
Art.
Okay, good morning, ma'am. Can you state your name, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Sarah Rose Guard.
Ms. Guard, we have you here today on 2 counts of felony shoplifting. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have a right to assistance of counsel. There is counsel seated next to you to assist you. State is recommending that bond be set in the amount of $5,000 plus release to pretrial services. And then can the jail confirm, do we have a hold on Ms. Guard?
Yes, Your Honor, ATO has closed their hold.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Guard, what that means is that probation has requested that you be held without bond pending any probation revocation proceedings or other similar matters. So even if the court was inclined to release you today, the court cannot do that until that probation hold is lifted. The state is recommending that bond be set nonetheless, in this case, in the amount of $5,000 plus release to pretrial services. Any additional record, Mr. Poston?
No, Your Honor.
And then Ms. Adams?
Yes, Your Honor, we're asking for a nominal bond in light of the probation hold.
Okay. Court will, at this time, court is going to set bond in the amount of $1,000 cash is secured with release to pretrial services if bond is posted. Defendant is ordered not to go back to the incident locations and follow any treatment or monitoring as directed by pretrial services. Pima County Public Defender's Office is appointed. And next court date for the defendant, February 10, 2025, 1:30 p.m. for preliminary hearing at the Justice Court. Ms. Guard, make sure you appear at future dates failure to appear could result in a warrant being issued. Do you have any questions at this time?
I do have a quick question, only because I have 2 counts of felony shoplifting, and I'm just really confused as to why they're felonies. They were just mediocre amounts of like food from this convenience store, and I'm just confused on that. Your Honor, I've been cleaning my side of the street for years. I've been on probation, and I'm about to term out of probation on the 13th. I work at Community Bridges, and I know you're not going to release me or anything. I'm just saying another felony charge would be detrimental to me when it's all under like $30. It's under $25.
Mr. Poston, do you, my understanding is that it's charged as a felony given prior shoplifting history. Is that accurate?
Yes, Your Honor. She has been arrested thrice in the last 5 years for shoplifting, and one of those cases clearly led to her being on probation, which she has violated, apparently.
Okay. I would suggest, Ms. Barr, talking to your public defender to clarify more. If there's an argument that can be made as to dismissal of the charge at a future date, that's something that may be available. So at this time, if there are no additional questions, the court will go ahead and conclude in your excuse, ma'am. Thank you and good luck.
Mr. Mendoza?
Just one moment. We'll get to your case shortly. Yes. We'll have to bring him back then. Before we get started with the next appointment, can we? We're going to need to bring back Mr. Diaz. We skipped over his city court matter, so if he can be brought back in after this defendant or shortly thereafter, that'd be great.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just one moment here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can you please state your name?
Jorge V. Mendoza.
Hey, Mr. Mendoza, we have you here today on a felony offense of trespassing in the first degree. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have a right to assistance of counsel, and counsel is seated next to you. The state is recommending bond be set in the amount of $10,000 with release to pretrial services if the bond is posted. And then any additional record, Mr. Poston.
All right. Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning. All right, good morning, everyone. This is the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar for January 29th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were issued on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar. My name is Commissioner Lacey Fisher. In a moment, I'm going to call each one of you up to the podium one at a time to let you know why you're here and whether or not you'll be released. Please keep in mind a couple of things. First, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say during this proceeding could be used against you in your case. Second, you have the right to counsel. Most of you have qualified for a court-appointed lawyer. I'm sure you have a lot of questions about your case. The person you need to speak with is your attorney. I can't give you legal advice. Finally, I'm going to be giving you a lot of important information during your hearing, including giving you your next court date. Everything that I tell you during your hearing, including those next court dates, will be in the written paperwork that the officers give you at the end of your hearing. So please hold on to that paperwork. It will be very important. We'll start with Ronnie Rule and then Nestor Pacheco to the chair by the door, please. Ronnie? And then if we could get Nestor to take a seat in the chair by the door. Ronnie, if you could step up to the podium. All right, please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Ronnie Lee Rule, August 24, 2003.
Thank you. All right, sir, I have you here on a new case. You're arrested on one allegation of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and one allegation of possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I'm appointing you an attorney. You'll have court on February 4th and February 6th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. Because it's alleged these offenses occurred while you were on pretrial felony release in CR 2025-100640, by law you must remain in custody without bail. I am setting a bail eligibility hearing for you on February 5th at 1:30 in the afternoon. You're also here in that matter ending in 640 for failing to appear at your court date.
All right.
Hold on just one second. In that case, you're going to have court on February 4th and February 6th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, and you have a $500 secured appearance bond. Even though you have a bond in that case, because you're currently being held without bail in your new matter, if you paid that bond today, you would not get released from custody. The only thing that would happen is you wouldn't get credit for the time you are serving in custody on that case. Do you understand everything I've told you, sir?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Living on the streets kind of fucking sucks. I'm sorry for my language. I didn't know my court date. When I got released, I didn't get no papers. I had it all in a bag. That bag got stolen. I didn't know what to call. I don't have a phone. This is all I have. Stuff I came in with. I didn't mean to come in and not show up and stuff, but I've been just trying to figure stuff out. I don't know what else to say other than that, other than I am sorry, but.
Okay, thank you for telling me that. I appreciate you telling me that, and you don't need to apologize to me. What I'll tell you is that even if you had appeared at your court date, because they're alleging you committed a new offense while you're on release, I don't have any control over your release at this point. You have to remain in custody without bail. But I appreciate your honesty in telling me your circumstances. I certainly understand that it's not an easy situation to be in, and I'm hoping that, through this process, you can start to move forward and, get yourself out of that situation, okay? So go ahead and step to your left. Make sure you get your paperwork, sir. Nestor Pacheco, please. And then Brandon Reynolds to the chair by the door. To the podium, please, sir.
Your Honor.
All right, good morning, sir. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Nestor Alonso Pacheco, June 4th, 1990.
Thank you, sir. I have you here on a grand jury warrant. A grand jury has met and indicted you on one allegation of aggravated assault for impeding breathing, which is a Class 4 felony, and one allegation of assault as a Class 1 misdemeanor, alleged to have occurred on or about July 16th of 2024. I am appointing you a lawyer, and you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. In that matter, you have a $50,000 secured appearance bond. I'm also ordering that should you post that bond and be released, that an electronic ankle monitoring device be installed prior to your release from custody, and that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. They're going to include that you're not to return to the scene of any alleged crime or have contact with any alleged victim or witness. You're not to possess any weapons, and you must obey any terms of any orders of protection that have been issued or may be issued. You also must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release from custody.
So,
hold on one second. Then you're also here in your 2012 case for a probation violation matter, and it looks like for failing to appear at your probation violation hearing. In that case, you're going to have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning, and pursuant to Rule 7.2C, you're going to remain in custody without bail until at least your next hearing on the 5th. So even though you have a bond in your new case, because you're currently being held without bail in your probation matter, if you paid your bond today, you would not get released from custody. The only thing that would happen is you wouldn't get credit for the days you are serving in custody on that case.
so, but it is showing that I have a bond on that though, on my probation violation, right?
No, I'm holding you without bail.
Oh, you're holding me without bail. Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
Until the 5th, but I just barely got a secure job. I barely got my stuff situated. I barely got an address. Yes, been literally not, I wasn't really in the right state of mind to continue probation back then. But now that I have a stability, I have a home, I have my family, I have a girl that, I mean, I would like to not lose this job. I just got this job Thursday, and it's landscaping, and it's the most difficult thing we could do, but it's helping me.
I understand, and I appreciate you telling me that. Unfortunately, the allegation here is that while you were on probation for very serious offenses, the allegation is that you strangled another human while you were on probation. So,
I mean,
that's just an allegation. I'm not saying that you've been found guilty of that. I'm just telling you that that's what the grand jury indicted you on. So that's going to be an alleged Term 1 violation for your probation matter, and combined with the allegation that you posted a fairly significant bond in your probation hearing and failed to appear.
I showed up. I literally showed up. We had the paperwork where I showed up on the date that they gave me. It was just to arrange or to make an appointment for another one, because I was here, I was downtown on the day that they gave me after I paid the $5,000 bail. So, and this alleged supposedly I strangled somebody, they broke into my house, into my property without being invited, broke in, and literally damaged my stuff. Like, how am I supposed to grab her and just kick her out?
Right, and like I said, you haven't been found guilty of anything. All I can tell you is that the grand jury heard evidence and did find probable cause to support those allegations. So I've appointed you a lawyer, and you have a lawyer already in your probation matter. So go ahead and talk to them about how you proceed forward, okay, sir? Go ahead and step to your left, make sure you get your paperwork. Brandon Reynolds, and then Dante Jocelyn to the chair by the door, please. Good morning. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Brandon Reynolds, 9679.
Thank you, sir. I have you here on a new case. You're arrested on one allegation of possession of a weapon during a drug offense, a Class 4 felony, one allegation of possession of narcotic drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony, one allegation of possession of dangerous drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony, one allegation of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, one allegation of possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, one allegation of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony, one allegation of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and one allegation of money laundering, a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations. Based on the financial affidavit you provided, you don't qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, but you can retain your own attorney or represent yourself. You'll have court on February 4th and February 6th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. You're also here in a probation violation matter. A Term 1 violation has been alleged. They're saying this new arrest constitutes a violation of your probation. In that matter, again, you don't qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, but you can retain your own attorney or represent yourself. In that case, you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. In your probation violation matter, pursuant to Rule 7.2c, you'll remain in custody without bail until at least your next court date on the 5th. In your new case, you have a $50,000 cash-only bond, and I'm ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. Even though you have a bond in your new case, because you're currently being held without bail in your probation matter, if you paid that bond in your new case today, you would not get released from custody. The only thing that would happen is you wouldn't get credit for the days you are serving in custody on that new matter. Do you understand everything I've told you, sir?
I want to get credit for the days I'm serving. Can you explain that last part again?
Sure. So because you're currently being held in custody in your probation matter, if you did post your bond in your new case, you wouldn't get released because you'd still have that probation hold, but the system wouldn't show that you were technically in custody on your new case. So then if you were sentenced to a term of incarceration, they wouldn't give, usually you'll get credit for the days you're currently serving in custody towards any ultimate sentence that you serve. But if you post your bond, the system will show that you're out of custody, and so you would not get credit for those days you're serving right now.
So I wouldn't want to post my bond before, is basically.
Right, right.
Okay.
I mean, it's obviously up to you.
I understand.
And, you know, but if you post your bond, I'm just letting you know, because you have that probation hold, you wouldn't be released.
Understood.
Now, if you get released in your probation matter, then you can pay your bond, and assuming you don't have any other holds, you'd be released.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thanks, sir. You can step to your left. Dante Jocelyn, and then Ubaldo Avia to the chair by the door, please. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Deontay Trayvon Jocelyn, 7/1993.
Thank you, sir. And I apologize. I think I mispronounced your first name.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said I think I mispronounced your first name, so I apologize.
No problem.
I have you here on a grand jury warrant. A grand jury has met and indicted you on one allegation of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony, and one allegation of unlawful flight, a Class 5 felony, alleged to have occurred on or about May 26th of 2024. I am appointing you a lawyer, and you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. You're also here on 2 probation violation matters. In each one of your probation cases, a Term 1 violation has been alleged. They're saying that these new charges being filed constitute a violation of your probation. I'm appointing you a lawyer in those cases as well. Hold on one second. And you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. In your probation violation matters, pursuant to Rule 7.2C, you'll remain in custody without bail until at least your next court date on the 5th. In your new case, you have a bond set in the amount of $20,000 cash only. I'm also ordering that should you post that bond and be released, that an electronic ankle monitoring device be installed prior to your release from custody, and that you comply with pretrial services restrictions as to when you can leave your home and where you can go. I'm further ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. It's going to include that should you post your bond and be released, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release from custody. Even though you have a bond in your new case, because you're currently being held without bail in your probation matter, if you posted your bond in your new case, you would not get released from custody. The only thing that would happen is you wouldn't get credit for the days you are serving in that new case. Can we reprint his 29? All right. Now, what question did you have, sir?
That's what I want to know. Did I have a bond for those probation cases? Is those 2 different probations?
Correct. So it looks like you're on probation in 2 different matters. Both of them look like they're involving possession of a weapon by a prohibited person cases.
Yes, ma'am. And so when I go to court, when do I have probation court?
You have probation court on February 5th.
February 5th. So when is my new case court again?
Your new case, you have court on February 5th as well.
How did that work?
So usually, it depends, but usually it'll all be in the same location. One judge will hear all 3 matters, but it sometimes depends.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So when I go see the judge on the 5th, I can talk to him about getting a bond for the probation?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, he or she may not grant that.
Okay.
It's going to be dependent on a lot of factors, but talk to your lawyer.
Yeah.
They'll be able to speak on your behalf.
Yeah, because I've been doing very good on probation. I'm not worried about it. I've been doing very good on probation. I just talked to my probation officer. He said that he's going to give a good report for me.
Good.
I've been doing everything. This is just an old case that popped up.
Right.
And I just got to fight it,
Good.
so yeah.
Right. And to the extent that that's true, that you've been doing great on probation, I really hope you keep doing great on probation.
Yeah.
You know, and you obviously can't control what happened before, but, you know, those consequences, you know.
That's what I'm saying. How can I be held non-bondable in these cases when this case happened before I was put on probation?
It appears to me that you were on probation at the time of this offense.
Yeah, but I got reinstated though.
Sure. And the difference is back when you were originally arrested on these offenses, the state, it looks like, didn't file charges at that time, so that's a different standard. Now the state is alleging that they have enough evidence to file charges against you, and so that changes the position of your probation matter. The allegation is that you committed a new misconduct involving weapons offense while you were on probation for misconduct involving weapons offenses. So that's why I'm holding you without bail at this time. Not saying that another judge can't have additional information and make different decisions, but for the time being, that's why you're being held. Any other questions?
Yes.
All right, thanks, sir. Go ahead and step to your left. Ubaldo Avila, and then Thrashin Taylor to the chair by the door, please. Good morning. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Ubaldo Avila, 8/12/2003.
Thank you. I have you here on a new case. You're arrested on 3 allegations of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, a Class 3 felony, 1 allegation of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 6 felony, 1 allegation of disorderly conduct with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, a Class 6 felony,
and one allegation of armed robbery, a Class 6 felony, all alleged to have occurred on or between January 19th and January 28th of this year. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I'm appointing you an attorney. You'll have court on February 4th and February 6th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. You have a $150,000 secured appearance bond, and I'm ordering that should you post that bond and be released, that an electronic ankle monitoring device be installed prior to your release from custody, and that you be placed on house arrest under the supervision of pretrial services. I'm also ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. It's going to include that you're not to return to the scene of any alleged crime or have contact with any alleged victim or witness. You're also not to possess any weapons. Do you understand everything I've told you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions, sir?
I don't know. Maybe I should just wait till the other court, talk to my attorney and stuff.
Sure.
About the case.
Yeah.
But about this, like, will I be able to post bail today or?
Sure. If you can post the $150,000, you can post it today. All right. Thanks, sir. Go ahead and step to your left. Thrashin Rudy, or I'm sorry, Thrashin Taylor, and then Rudy Espinoza to the chair by the door. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, sir.
Everybody's just saying you're on today.
I'm sorry. Okay. Could you tell me your full name and your date of birth?
Trayshawn Taylor Parade. I got two last names, but they only use one. 8695.
All right. Thank you, sir. I have you here on a direct complaint warrant. A direct complaint has been filed, charging you with 1 count of possession of a manufactured weapon, which is a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, alleged to have occurred on July 31st of 2022. I'm appointing you an attorney, and you'll have court on February 4th and February 6th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. You have a $50,000 secured appearance bond. I'm also ordering that should you post that bond and be released, that an electronic ankle monitoring device be installed prior to your release from custody, and that you be placed on house arrest under the supervision of pretrial services. I'm further ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. It's going to include that you're not to possess or consume any drugs without a valid prescription, and you're not to possess any weapons. Do you understand everything I've told you, sir?
Yes.
Any questions?
Yes. About that, I live in California now, so how is this going to work?
So you have to remain here in the state until a judge gives you permission to travel out of the state. It looks like you were just extradited here from California.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I bond out, I'll have to stay out here?
Correct.
So I have to give an address out here to get the house arrest?
Correct. Well, yes. That's that you would have to have some place to stay.
Well,
to give...
I have family out here.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so if you post your bond, you'd need to make sure you stay in the state unless your case management judge gives you approval to leave the
So
state.
is it $50,000 or $50? They told me $50.
$50,000, but it's a secured appearance bond. That means you can use a bonding company and only pay a portion of the total amount. There's a list of bonding companies in the facility that you can talk to see what you can work out.
All right.
All right, any other questions?
No.
All right, thanks, sir. You can step to your left. Rudy Espinoza and then Jermaine Hernandez to the chair by the door, please. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Rudy Espinoza, 2578.
Thank you. I have you here on a new case. You're arrested on 2 allegations of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You'll have court on February 4th and February 6th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. You have a $15,000 secured appearance bond. I'm also ordering that should you post that bond and be released, that an electronic ankle monitoring device be installed prior to your release from custody, and that you comply with pretrial services restrictions as to when you can leave your home and where you can go. I'm also ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. Do you understand everything I've told you?
Not really. I was on a parole violation. How did I get I didn't have no weapons or nothing on me when they pulled me over for my parole violation. I wasn't even near one. There was none around. I don't understand
The allegation is that it looks like when they searched it looks like your camper trailer is the allegation?
No, I didn't live in that trailer. I didn't even live in that property. I used to visit a friend there. My address is on my sister's 525 West Buse. I didn't even live there. I wasn't even there when that happened. I don't understand why I'm getting charged for any of it.
Okay, their allegation is that they believe you live there and found documentation in the trailer corresponding with you to suggest you live there, and that they found, it looks like, a dagger and a sword, which would
excuse me, I didn't mean to stick over you, but the area that they're talking about, everybody, like a lot of people, whoever went over there, kicked it in there. My sister lives down the street. That's where I live. They may have found my Cash App thing where I activated my Cash App card when I was there talking to a friend of mine. But I didn't, that was not my residence. It's not my residence. Never was my residence.
Even if it was not your residence, if they believe that you were in that residence with those weapons, you need to keep in mind, you can talk to your lawyer, but possessing a weapon can be constructive.
I never possessed it.
Hold on, let me just speak. Can be constructive or actual. So for example, if you were in a car where there was a gun, even if you never touched the gun, you could be found, or probable cause could be found that you were in possession of a weapon. So I will tell you that based on the Form 4, the information provided by law enforcement, based on the law, I have found probable cause to support these allegations.
All right.
That doesn't mean that I found you guilty.
Yeah.
You may very well have an excellent defense for these allegations.
Okay.
So I'd encourage you to talk to your lawyer
I will.
about your defense.
I will.
And then you'll see how the case progresses, okay?
Okay.
Any other questions, sir?
No, thank you.
All right, thanks, sir. You can step to your left.
Yep.
Jermaine Hernandez, and then Aaron Morales, please. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Herman Hernandez Jr., 7/30/2000.
Thank you, sir. I have you here on a grand jury warrant. A grand jury has met and indicted you on one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, a Class 3 felony, one allegation of theft, a Class 6 felony, one allegation of disorderly conduct, a Class 6 felony, one allegation of criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and one allegation of criminal trespassing, a Class 1 misdemeanor, alleged to have occurred on or about February 19th of last year, 2024. I'm appointing you a lawyer, and you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. You have a $15,000 cash-only bond, and I'm ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. It's going to include that I'm ordering that should you post your bond and be released, that an electronic ankle monitoring device be installed prior to your release from custody, and that you comply with pretrial services restrictions as to when you can leave your home and where you can go. I'm also ordering that you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with any alleged victim or witness, and you're not to possess any weapons. Do you understand everything I've told you, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any questions, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. I want to just say that I was actually brought up. I've been in custody for 11 months on this case. I just want to know if it's being counted for.
You've been what?
I've been in custody for 11 months on this case.
I don't think you've been in, you may have been in custody on this case. I can't tell from here because they're saying that they extradited you from Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't know if you've been in custody on this case or not. I can't tell in the system. So that's a question for your lawyer. Okay, so talk to your lawyer. Let them know if you believe that you've been in custody in Texas on these allegations. Talk to your lawyer about that.
It's because they were holding me. I had gotten sentenced, and I finished my time, and they never came pick me up until a couple months later. So I just want to know if that will be counted for.
Right. Yeah, that's a question for your lawyer because I can't tell in the system. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Can I go home?
Not unless you pay your bond.
What's my bond again?
It's a $15,000 cash only bond.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thanks, sir. Go ahead and step to your left.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Aaron Morales. And then Kathy Averill to the chair by the door. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Aaron Matthew Morales, January 18th, 1984.
Thank you. I have you here on a probation violation matter. A petition to revoke your probation has been filed. I'm appointing you an attorney, and you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. You have a $5,000 secured appearance bond, and I'm ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. It's going to include that should you post your bond and be released, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release from custody. Do you understand everything I told you, sir?
Yes.
Any questions?
No.
All right. Thanks, sir. You can step to your left.
All right, thank you.
Kathy Averill and then Joseph Averill, please.
Hello.
Good morning. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
My name is Kathy Abril, 4963.
Thank you, and I apologize for mispronouncing your last name. I have you here on a pretrial services warrant. They're alleging that you didn't comply with the terms of your pretrial services. So you're going to have court on February 4th
Okay.
At 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. It looks like an attorney was already appointed to you. And I'm affirming your bond, I'm setting your bond at $5,000, which is a secured appearance bond. And I'm ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. Do you understand everything I've told you?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Any questions?
No.
All right. Thanks, ma'am. You can step to the left.
So, I do have a question. So I'm in here till the 4th of February?
Right. You'll remain in custody until at least the 4th unless you pay your bond.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. We don't need to reprint that one, but I did resign it. Joseph, please, and then Bryce Lincoln to the chair by the door, please. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Joseph Abreu, 12/24/1985.
Thank you, sir. I have you here on a probation violation matter for failing to appear at your probation hearing. You'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. Looks like an attorney was already appointed for you. So you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning. You have a $10,000 secured appearance bond, and I'm ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. It's going to include that should you post your bond and be released, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release from custody. Do you understand everything I've told you?
Kind of, like, I'm just confused on the whole thing. Like, I have talked to my probation officer. I talked to my attorney about this court, because I came here for that. For the court, and when they released me from OR, I literally thought it was at January 21st of going to court on Peoria of the misdemeanors. So I literally thought that was it. I explained it to my attorney. I explained it to my PO, and they're just like, okay, we're gonna try to fix this. You just stay home and you stay out of trouble. Know what I mean? Don't get in trouble, because the warrant's still out there until we fix this. And I was like, okay, so I told him, actually, I was like, what do I do? I was like, do I turn myself in, or, you know what I mean, what do I do? So they're just like, just hang in there until the next court day and stay out of trouble. So, you know what I mean, I take my mom to the store and I get pulled over, just nothing, you know what I mean? I just get pulled over by them looking at me. They pulled me over and they just took me in. And I understand I had a violation. It was just a misunderstanding. It wasn't my intention of trying to avoid my court or any of that. I explained it to my attorney of the misunderstanding of that, of me understanding of that. I'm on Southwest Behavior. They usually help me out to understand this type of stuff. So it's kind of the stuff to get me to understand, basically talk to me to understand that. So it was just a big misunderstanding on my part. It wasn't my intention to miss my court.
Okay. I appreciate you telling me that, but part of the reason that you had court in the first place is they're alleging that you violated your probation. You're currently on probation for very serious offenses and domestic violence offenses. The alleged violation in your case was that you committed new domestic violence offenses. So to the extent that a prior judge thought it was appropriate to release you, then their allegation is that you failed to appear. So it's not just that I'm seeing you because you failed to appear. There's also the underlying allegation that while you were on release in the community under the court's supervision on very serious allegations, the allegation is you committed new crimes of a similar nature. So with all of that information that I have available to me, I don't find it appropriate to release you at this time. I'm going to affirm my release order. You can talk with your lawyer and talk with your judge at your next hearing, okay?
Is there any way you could just leave alone? Because I got a family out there I take care of. It's just two of us. We're working very hard out there. It's not easy out there. I just got done doing 7 years. I've been out for 3 years. I've been doing good in my probation. I've not been causing problems, any of that. I had a bump in the road, like, I mean, it happens as being human, I mean, we're not perfect, but I'm just saying, like, I wasn't trying to start no problems. I got a family to take care of out there, and I mean, me sitting in here is not going to help me surviving my family out there.
Right. I appreciate that, and I understand that what you're calling a bump, they're alleging was a new domestic violence assault. Like I said, while you're on probation for aggravated assault, domestic violence. So I appreciate you telling me that information, but at this time, I don't find it appropriate to modify your release orders. I have to follow the laws set in place, including Rule 7.2C. So talk with your attorney, talk with your probation judge when you see them, but for today, I'm going to affirm my release order. So go ahead and step to your left, make sure you get your paperwork started.
When I talk to my, if my probation restates me, where she said she wasn't gonna violate me, I mean, that's what she said, but if she restates me, do I get out, or I don't know how that...
So that's a question for your lawyer, okay? All right. Thanks, sir. No, I don't. No. I just accidentally refunded it. And then I forgot I did it. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Presley Lincoln, 5/11/95.
Thank you. I have you here on a new case. You're arrested on one allegation of shoplifting, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause to support that allegation. You were also arrested on one allegation of possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. However, I did not find probable cause to support that allegation.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that allegation necessarily goes away. The county attorney could still charge you with that. It just means that based on the limited information I was provided this morning, I couldn't find enough evidence to support that allegation, so I'm not holding you as to that allegation.
Okay, cool.
I did find probable cause as to the shoplifting, so I am appointing you an attorney, and you'll have court on February 4th and February 6th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. You're also here on a probation violation matter. A Term 1 violation has been alleged. They're saying this new arrest constitutes a violation of your probation. I'm appointing you a lawyer in that case as well, and you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court.
Good.
In your probation matter, you have a $1,000 secured appearance bond. In your new case, you have a $50 secured appearance bond. So your total bond is $1,050 secured appearance. I'm also ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. It's going to include that should you post your bond and be released, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release from custody. Do you understand everything I've told you?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No.
All right, thanks, sir. You can
Thank
step
you.
to your left. Katrina Bernal, and then Robert Covington to the chair by the door, please. Where's Covington? Good morning. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Katrina Bernal, 6/23/1992.
Thank you. I have you here on a new case. You are arrested on one allegation of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and one allegation of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I'm appointing you an attorney. You'll have court on February 4th and February 6th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. You're also here on 2 probation violation matters. In each one of your probation cases, a petition to revoke your probation has been filed. I'm appointing you an attorney, and you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. In each of your probation cases, you have a $1,000 bond. In your new case, you have a $50 bond. So your total bond is $2,050 secured appearance. I'm also ordering that you comply with all of the written orders in your paperwork, which will include, should you post your bond and be released, that you contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release from custody. Do you understand everything I've told you?
Yeah, you're saying I have one new case?
Correct.
What is the new case?
They're saying that today you were arrested for possession of narcotic drugs, which is a Class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony.
Oh, okay.
All right. Any other questions?
No.
All right. Thanks, ma'am. You can step to your left. Robert Covington, and then Jeffrey Cox to the chair by the door, please. Good morning. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Robert Elizabeth Chronicles, 5/22/1994.
Thank you. I have you here on 3 probation violation matters. In each case, a petition to revoke your probation has been filed. I'm appointing you a lawyer in each case, and you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. In each case, you have a $250 bond, so your total bond is $750 secured appearance. I'm also ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. It's going to include that should you post your bond and be released, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release from custody. Do you understand everything I've told you?
I've been calling my PO. I've been going out there, and he hasn't seen me. He hasn't looked at me. He hasn't done nothing. I've been trying to change POs and all of that, and nobody's helped me.
Okay. I appreciate you telling me that. I also can appreciate that that's frustrating. They are alleging that you have not had contact with them.
Well, I have. I've left voicemails. I left text messages. I did it all.
Right. I appreciate that. Your probation officer is saying the exact opposite. So that's why you're going to have a probation hearing. It'll be up to the judge to hear from the probation officer, and if you would like, to hear from you. So go ahead and step to your left and make sure you get your paperwork. Jeffrey Cox and Jeffrey McKinahan to the chair by the door, please. Good morning. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth, sir.
This is hard to understand. 570, Jeffrey Cox. My bad.
No problem. So the date of birth I have here for you is October 9th of 1970. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. I have you here on 2 probation violation matters. In each case, a petition to revoke your probation has been filed. I'm appointing you a lawyer to assist you, and you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. In each case, you have a $250 secured appearance bond, so your total bond is $500 secured appearance. I'm also ordering that you comply with all of the written orders in your paperwork. They're going to include that should you post your bond and be released, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release from custody. Do you understand everything I've told you, sir?
No, really, but okay.
Okay, can I help answer some questions?
You said, so, it's just a stroke. It's hard to understand.
That's okay, take your time. I can try and help answer
No,
the questions.
so right now, all the way up until, so, it's hard to understand. My bad. We're good.
No, it's perfectly fine. So they are alleging that you were not in compliance. You were not compliant with probation. So you're going to have a probation hearing with a judge where the probation officer will present evidence regarding that, and then the judge will decide what to do. So I haven't found you in violation of your probation. I'm just letting you know those are the allegations.
Okay.
You're going to have court on February 5th. If you do pay your bond and you get released, you need to make sure that you get to your court date.
Okay.
If you don't pay your bond, then you'll remain in custody until at least your court date on February 5th, which is about a week away.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Go ahead and step to your left. Make sure you get your paperwork. Jeffrey McKeehan and then Monet Martinez to the chair by the door, please. Good morning. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Jeffrey McKean, 6/24/89.
Thank you, sir. I have you here on 2 probation violation matters. In each case, a petition to revoke your probation has been filed. I'm appointing you an attorney, and you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. In each case, you have a $250 secured appearance bond, so your total bond is $500 secured appearance. I'm also ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork, which will include that should you post your bond and be released, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release from custody. Do you understand everything I've told you, sir?
Yes.
Any questions?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. You can step to your left. Monet Martinez, please, and then Erica Chavez to the chair by the door, please. Good morning. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Monet Martinez, 0802-2000.
Thank you. I have you here on a probation violation in 2 different cases. In each case, a petition to revoke your probation has been filed. I'm appointing you an attorney, and you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. In each case, you have a bond set in the amount of $500, so your total bond is $1,000 secured appearance. I'm also ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. It's going to include that should you post your bond and be released, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release from custody. Do you understand everything I've told you?
Yeah, so is it a $1,000 cash only bond, or I'm not understanding?
No problem. It's a secured appearance bond, which means you can use a bonding company. Typically, they're looking for about 10% of the total amount with some collateral. So in your case, that would be $100. But every bonding company is different. So you can talk to the bonding companies. There's a list of the companies out on the wall in the facility that you can reach out to?
Right now, the only thing I asked the court is to take into consideration that I have a 3-year-old son, and that tomorrow, being the first of the month, is the time obviously when we get paid and stuff like that, you know, to make matters and pay rent and whatever. And if you could lower it just a little bit, I would very greatly appreciate that, just until I can get to probation court. That's the only thing I really can ask the court to consider.
Okay, so I'm looking at the alleged violations. They're saying that you haven't reported since June of 2023. So that's a long time to be absconding from probation. So I'm not going to modify the judge's bond at this time, but you can talk to your lawyer and talk to your judge at your hearing, okay? All right, thanks, ma'am. Erica Chavez, and then Danny Finley, to the chair by the door, please. Good morning. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Erica Chavez, 2881.
Thank you. I have you here on a bench warrant out of Superior Court for failing to appear at your court date. You'll have court on February 4th and February 6th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. You have a $250 secured appearance bond, and I'm ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. Do you understand everything I've told you?
Am I staying or am I going?
So your bond is $250 secured appearance. If you can post that bond, you'd be released. Otherwise, you'll remain in custody until at least your next court date on the 4th. Any other questions?
Okay.
All right. Thanks, ma'am. You can step to your left. Danny Finley, and then Manuel Hernandez to the chair by the door, please. Good morning. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Danny Joe Finley, 42770.
Thank you. I have you here on a bench warrant out of Superior Court for failing to appear at your court date. You'll have court on February 4th and February 6th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. You have a $500 secured appearance bond, and I'm ordering that you comply with all of the written instructions in your paperwork. Do you understand everything I've told you, sir?
Yes.
Any questions? All right. Thanks, sir. You can step to your left. Manuel Hernandez, and then Mitchell Bryce to the chair by the door, please. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Manuel Ricardo Hernandez, date of birth 1/2/80.
Thank you, sir. I have you here on a warrant on a alleged probation violation matter out of Graham County Superior Court. In that case, you're going to have court on February 3rd at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. Based on the allegation of the probation violation pursuant to Rule 7.2C, you'll remain in custody without bail until at least your next court date on the 3rd. Do you understand everything I've told you, sir?
Yes.
Any questions?
No.
All right. Thanks, sir. You can step to your left. Mitchell Bryce, and then Joseph Calzada to the chair by the door, please. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Mitchell Bryce, April 6, 2005.
All right. Thank you, sir. Give me 1 minute. I have to reprint his. Can we reprint his? Sorry, I had to fix the typo in your paperwork. All right, can you tell me your date of birth one more time?
Yeah, it's April 6, 2005.
Thank you, sir. All right, I have you here on a new case. You were arrested on 2 allegations of disorderly conduct, which are Class 1 misdemeanors. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I'm ordering that an attorney be appointed to represent you at your next hearing, which will be February 25th at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Surprise Municipal Court. I'm planning to release you on your own recognizance, which means I'll release you as long as you promise to go to court and comply with the written instructions in your paperwork. Those instructions are going to include that you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with any alleged victim or witness. You're not to possess any weapons, and you must obey any terms of any orders of protection that have been issued or may be issued. You can't reside with the alleged victims, even if you are the owner or renter of that property, but you are allowed a civil standby with a local law enforcement officer to return to the property if you need to collect some of your essential belongings. Do you understand everything I've told you, sir?
I'm homeless now.
You can't reside, I can't order that you be allowed to reside with the alleged victims because I don't have any input from them that they would want you to reside there. So you can raise the issue with your court, but for the time being, you've got to find someplace else to stay for at least the short term. Can you do that?
I'll probably sleep in my car, but can I ask about the immediate implications for the other party involved?
I'm sorry, what's that question?
I'm sorry, I haven't slept in a while. The immediate implications for the other party involved.
So I did see that you're also a listed victim in this case, that they're alleging it was a mutual combat circumstance, meaning they're alleging that you were a victim and an aggressor. So the other person is also going to have similar restrictions, so they can't have contact with you or reside in the same location. But it appears to me that they're alleging there were also bystanders in the home who they're alleging are victims.
So I called the police on him for pulling a gun on me, and we both just sat here for a day, and we're both going home now. Or not going home, but just leaving.
So that's not the allegations that were presented to me in his case. You have victims' rights in that case, so make sure that you get the information from the county or the city, as I guess the case would be. But they're alleging that they're not alleging that any weapon was used.
Okay.
All right. So do you need a list of shelters to go to?
Yeah.
All right. Can we get him that list of shelters? All right. All of that information is going to be in your paperwork, and then make sure that you chat with your attorney if you have any questions. Okay, sir? They're going to get you a list of shelters as well, so you can go ahead and get that paperwork and then step to the left. Joseph Calzada, please. Oh. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your full name and your date of birth.
Good morning. My name is Joseph Calzada. Joseph Anthony Calzada, January 12, 1988.
Thank you, sir. All right, I have you here on a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court for an alleged probation violation matter. I am appointing you a lawyer, and you'll have court on February 3rd at 8:30 in the morning in the Pima County Superior Court. Pursuant to Rule 7.2C, you're going to remain in custody without bail until at least your next court date on the 3rd. Do you understand everything I've told you, sir?
Perfectly fine.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead and step to your left.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, and then if I could get Shaker Abdul to the podium, please. We have an interpreter on the line.
The justice system.
All right, good morning. Is the interpreter able to hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, then we will begin. Good morning, sir. Is your name Shaker Abdul?
You asking the interpreter?
Yeah.
Hello,
Hello?
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, walaikum salam. Salam.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Kon naam gan ki naam hausai?
Anam Abdul Shukur.
Abdul Shukur.
Yeah.
So it's Abdul Shakur, is that correct?
Ojo ni, kon naam Abdul Shukur ne, Dalladabad.
Aye.
Yes. Yes.
And is your date of birth January 1st, 1998?
Zormo tarik de 01/01/1988. One.
Aye.
Yes.
All right, I have you here on 3 probation violation matters. In each case, a petition to revoke your probation has been filed.
Okay. তোমার প্রবেশন ওকে দিয়ে দেবো এবারে তুই না মানা হবে হেতল্লা তোমার ফাইল করিব বলে বুঝছো না তোমার কি হইয়ে ফেললা আগে আমরা বাইলে করতে হবে
মানে আমাদের গিয়া গই না হারিব দে মতে ইবা মাথা হনো কিছু গিয়া নাই আর হসুরি না হসুরি সারা লেছে মরা হসুরি সারা মিয়াড় আড় ওদের আছে আড় ওদের মরা ওয়ার্ডিং দিয়েছে দিছরা ইবা মাঝে দিয়া হলো মরে এই দিব হইলে মরে পরে পুরো মাঝে গিয়ে দিয়া পুরো কার মাঝে গিয়ে দিয়া এই দিব হইলে 24 hour বাদে
Okay, I have not violated any probation. So I was told that I will be released after 24 hours. I am not guilty.
All right, I haven't found you guilty of anything. I'm just letting you know they're alleging you violated your probation. I'm appointing you a lawyer to help you, and you'll have court on February 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court.
Okay. Toro mo hosuri tosuro hamaddehi no torogo probation then honikan no jaito hoye tora mana gujjidin tu na manos etolla de ase tore ere loyenni toti kuto date ase February 6 tarikya kara sto abaje u don't on marbe bole kuto made ja huribo toti bujjone to tore upor lawyer dibo tara to lawyer
your total
hoibo de bujjone inhere hobi de tu hosuri korbo.
Your total bond between the three cases is a $2,000 secured appearance bond, and I'm ordering that you comply with all of the written orders in your paperwork, which will include that you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release from custody.
Okay. Tore de ase de ase bond dite tinnan bole tui violation kojjate tinnan alla 2000 to tore bond mai hiniya fine dia huribude 2000 tina to hin 72 hours or hole hodu hogonda de 3 din manla no to 3 din obutore to hin can goriyar dia huribo tore dibo to wa ukini to jano hi hiniya tara hotai janna.
Do you have any questions?
Okay. So yeah, phone call tali ya futallo.
তোমার বাড়িতে নইতে হলে মরে রায় নইতে হ এদিতে হ হসুরি নাই বলি হমতি
Oh, are you going to keep me here or are you going to release me?
You will remain in custody until your next court date at least, unless you pay your bond.
Okay, ya tore 2000 tiam ko hoyi dibe divelle tu neli na varibi man neli varibi no nelile tiai ba dina valle tor puto dira tu 7 tarikya he to dimunju to tere ta uri wan hodde to 2000 tiam tu divaribi ne.
Did you have any other questions, sir?
Ar kesu ase ne?
No.
No, I don't have.
All right, thank you, sir. You can step back out to your left.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Interpreter, for your assistance. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
All right, and then do we know why Mr. Bryce is not here? I'm assuming it's because his... Okay. All right, number 19 on the calendar, Brian Bryce, November 21st, 1978. He is not present in court because he is the suspect in a case where the alleged victim is on the same docket, so to keep them away from each other, he is in a holding facility. It also, apparently, according to MCSO, the individuals were having conflict in general population, so I'll go see him in the facility after court. He's here on a new case. He was arrested on 1 allegation of threatening or intimidating, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 2 allegations of disorderly conduct, which are Class 1 misdemeanors. I did find probable cause to support those allegations. I'm appointing him an attorney, and he'll have court on February 25th at 1:30 in the morning in the Surprise Municipal Court. I'm planning to release him on his own recognizance in order that he complies with all of the written instructions in his paperwork. It's going to include that he's not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have any contact with any alleged victim or witness. He's not to possess any weapons, and he must obey any terms of any orders of protection that have been issued or may be issued. If anything should change after I speak with Mr. Bryce, I will come back and make a supplemental record by noting any changes in a written release order. And then number 37 on the calendar, Cody Tolsdorf, January 14th, 1994. A record was made on the 2 p.m. calendar on January 28th of 2025 with respect to the initial appearance in this matter. It appears that the defendant is currently hospitalized and unable to proceed with his initial appearance. We received an update from law enforcement just prior to the 11 a.m. docket today, indicating that Mr. Tolsdorf is still intubated, still unable to medically proceed, even telephonically, with his initial appearance. So the court is continuing to find extraordinary circumstances exist such that a delay in his presentment for his initial appearance in this matter is justified. He is here on a warrant for a shoplifting misdemeanor out of Santan Justice Court. So I will move this matter to the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar to see if we have any updates on his status at that time. Otherwise, this will conclude the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar, and the court will stand in recess until 2 p.m.